Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, juicers? How you doing? Welcome back to the podcast, the Juicebox Podcast. It's your host, the 5'7 King. You know how it be. Guys, I just need to preface something really quick. First of all, this episode is with my dad. It was great. We talked about a lot of shit. And you know what? I'm not going to lie, man. At certain points, it got a little emotional, but we kept rolling, man. We kept it rolling because that's what we do. We keep rolling. And I had a great time. It's not very often that I get to just sit with my dad for 3 hours long. Now, look, 3 hours is a long time. So if you have to listen to this and, break it down through a couple days, I understand. And if you listen to the whole thing, I love you for that. Now, there's a disclaimer. With the first hour of the podcast, we had been recording. Now, something happened during recording with the audio for the first hour. So that first hour is going to be video audio. I know it sucks, and believe me, I am furious about that. Now that the last 2 hours of the podcast, everything's back to normal. The audio is all good again. So please just bear with me. And the first hour of this podcast was fucking, we talked about some cool shit. And it was all around a blast. I'm really bummed about that first hour of the audio, but it is what it is. Shit happens. I got over it. Now I'm still pretty bummed about it. But anyways, guys, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know this episode's already extremely long, but if you listen through it to its entirety, I love you, and I really hope you guys enjoy the episode. We got into a lot of stuff on this, so that's it. That's all I got to say, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And peace and love. See you next time. Bye. So, you're one of you're the most experienced person I've had on my podcast. And I felt like this was kind of an interesting question to ask you. It's kind of left field. Where were you on 9/11?
Oh, great story. Actually, it's going to be the most boring story ever.
Well, make it fun.
All right. So
make some shit up. I don't, they don't know.
So 9/11, right? So you have to remember that the planes are hitting New York like in the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Right, which is 6 o'clock on Pacific time. And so at that time, my cousin Serge and I, Bob and I would meet at the gym at like 6:15 every day.
And you're 23, 24? How old are you?
So at this time, 2001, I'm 23.
Okay.
Right, so you're around.
Yes.
Sissy's around.
Mm-hmm.
No, Sissy is.
She was born a month later.
A month from being born.
A month and a day later.
Yeah, so you're around.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, basically a month.
Mm-hmm.
September 11th, she was born, a month later. So I drop you off at school. You're going to Arundel. Drop you off. I go to Starbucks. And then I'm going to hit, go to San Jose to go to work. And as I get to...
You're at the gym.
Let me back up, sorry. I was at the gym. 6:45, 6:43, I think to be exact. Serge and I are on the treadmills. Bob and I are on the treadmills. And we see the second plane hit the tower.
On the news?
On the news. We're not sure what we're watching.
Right.
Wow, what the fuck's going on? He's like, I don't know, B. Something's happening. And so we see that, and you keep working out, go home, get ready, turn the news on, and at that point, I was living with my mom at that point because we hadn't moved out from the house yet.
Right.
So, I'm like, I don't know, something's going on. Anyways, no big deal. Get ready.
Hold on. Can I pause you for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at the gym, and you're sure that it was the second plane.
It was the second plane. We only know this after the fact. We don't know what we're watching, right? We see something hit a tower.
Right.
There's already smoke coming out of the first tower.
Okay.
This is all put together after the fact.
So
right?
you don't know, when you're watching this, you don't know that a plane hit the other building.
No.
You only know that you saw the second plane hit the second building.
Correct.
And I guess we'll go work out again.
Yeah, you didn't really know what to think, right? It's like,
that's insane.
You're on the treadmill. Like, we're just like...
I guess, yeah, because what can you do, really?
Okay, what just happened? Okay, so there's a lot of smoke coming out of one of the twin towers.
Mm-hmm.
not sure what's going on. Yeah, you kind of just go about your day, like at that point, right?
Right. I mean, I guess like that's like seeing, it's like nowadays you can see a cop just kill somebody and you're like, well, that's shitty, but I can't really do anything about it.
You didn't really know how to process it.
Right.
You didn't really know what it meant, right? Like I went home and I took a shower and I got ready. I had breakfast, and then you went to school, and then I went to Starbucks. Like it was weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't until then that I called my boss or my boss sent a message out to all of us. Remember, this is 2001. Like,
Right.
there's no iPhones, right? We had like Blackberries and shit.
Yeah.
And boss is like, we understand people weren't as in tune with other people's feelings as they are nowadays, right? Like back then there was no feelings. But on this day, it was like, we understand people might be hesitant to take their kids to school and all this. Feel free to take the day and stay home with your kids. Oh, look, bitch. I'm like, my kid's already at school.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go hang out with my friends.
Fuck them. Boys, where you at?
So
Yeah, let's go hit the strip club.
So I started texting my friends. I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, I'm just hanging out. I had a friend that lived over off Woodside Road in Redwood City. I'm just hanging out. Cool, I'm coming to your house because I don't have to go to work. Sounds good to me. We sat there all day and watched the news.
Yeah.
Just all day long. Like we watched the towers collapse. We watched, the big cloud of smoke.
Okay, so did you watch the towers collapse? You didn't watch that live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a long gap.
We watched that live because it was about an hour and a half after
the impact.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think it was in the East Coast time. I think it was in the 10 o'clock hour.
When they fell.
Yeah.
So, when you watched them collapse, what was that experience? Because on this day, see, the reason I ask this is because, like, I've had this conversation with people that are like a year older than me, and I'm like, do you remember anything from that day? Like, because when we were at school, apparently people even like a couple years older than I was, their teachers had it on the news. They had watched it as a class, like as a couple years older than me. At that time, I don't know how old I was. Young. I was like 2001. I was still 5, turning 6.
Yeah.
And I don't remember anything like that. Like, I don't remember people being sent home. I don't remember watching it on the news. I just doesn't recollect. So it's cool, like, to have you on here now and talk about it, because I've never actually asked this question to anybody that's older than me, like significantly older than me, like, whatever. So when you watch them fall, what happened? Like, what was your reaction?
I think it was just disbelief, like, because
you didn't know it was a terrorist attack, or did you at this point?
I think at that point we realized.
I think the time of the second plane. I think that's when people realized.
This was targeted, like, and you have to remember that this is 20 years ago. We didn't think the way that we think now back then, right? We think of things way different than we did back then. Everything was a little more innocent, right?
To a certain extent.
Now we're very pragmatic about everything. Back then we weren't. And seeing that fall, when, growing up, the whole vision of like America, the United States, anytime that was like the core of the discussion, you saw New York City. And what defined New York City was the Twin Towers.
The monument.
That's all. That was the landscape, right? So no matter what, the Twin Towers were always in the picture. They were always in the background. And so to see that collapse, like real time, was it was like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You have at least me, you have no emotion at the time. Like, you can't believe it. It's not happening. You see it, you're seeing it, but it's not real.
Right.
Like, there's like, nah, this is gonna pass and we're gonna be good. That's kind of I think how I felt. And then it's like the aftermath, right? Then it's like people, then you're watching the news, us here, 3,000 miles away, watching the news and you're seeing people walk out, completely white, completely covered in dust. And you're like, fuck.
You just feel like helpless. You just like, what do I do? I can't do anything.
Fuck. Not only that, but it's like you don't really know what it means.
Right.
You don't know how it affects you or how it's gonna affect you or how it should be affecting you.
How it affects our country's just security or
You just don't know. And like you said, you're totally helpless. Like you're legitimately helpless. There's nothing you can do right now. And you're just like, holy shit, I have no clue what's going on.
So what I want to, now that we're talking about this, I want to ask you, because at the time you were 23, and I feel like by the time that I was 23, I had like an interest in my thought process and how I perceived like ideas and things. So like basically the way that our country is operating right now, there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of divide, whether it's certain beliefs that you have, ideology with politics or whatever. That was a lot, how it is now is a lot different than the following days or weeks after 9/11.
Totally.
Like, from what I hear, can you bring that close to you? From what I hear, because I don't know this because I was 6 at the time, 5, whatever. Our country has never been more like united than the following days of 9/11. Is that true? Do you feel that?
Yeah, it definitely felt like, coming out of that, everyone, all the bullshit was kind of gone. But you gotta remember
Bullshit
that.
like what?
Well, like, not bullshit, but like every little thing is a topic of discussion.
Now? Okay.
Right, back then, every little thing was not a topic of discussion. But you gotta remember that the environment was so different, right? Like, today, any little thing that anyone wants to talk about, they can bring up and they can make a big deal out of, no matter what it is.
Well, they have it, they could fucking just send it off.
Right, and that wasn't the case 20 years ago. That was absolutely not the case 20 years ago, which makes a huge difference. So it was a whole lot easier for people to unite because it wasn't as easy to inject things that would bring people apart.
Right. It's
a whole lot easier to toss a little stick of dynamite into anything and have it explode right now. Back then you couldn't do that. Back then, it's like you have something you don't like. Cool, you say it to your group of friends, but it doesn't go beyond that.
That's where it ends.
Because you have no recourse.
There's no reach.
Right, there's no reach. So when something like that happens, like that, that's a big, that covers a lot of ground.
That's a fucking, like, one of the most historical events, just 9/11 speaking.
Yeah.
And like, I just think it's crazy. Like, I wonder what it would take, because here's the thing, a tragedy within our country, within any country, it should bring people together. You would like to think so. Now, that seems to be the last tragic historic event in our country that actually brought people together. And then you go to last year with the whole George Floyd thing.
Yeah.
Everyone on the planet that saw that video should definitely think like, okay, regardless whether you back the police or not, that whole situation was wrong.
Yeah.
Now, you would think that if you had any sense of like good heart in you, you would think that, okay, we got to do whatever we can. That seemed to just cause the most divide, because now, like you said, with the easy access of the internet, people can just send out whatever the hell they're thinking, and that's what causes this crazy blow up of a divide between people, whether or not the cop didn't do anything wrong or whatever it is. Like, it's just crazy. I feel like within the future of our country, we're not going to ever get to a disaster that'll bring us together like that.
Well, in 2001, we also didn't have trolls, right?
I'm sure we did, but they didn't have access to
They didn't have access. They weren't able to troll. And, like, what's a troll? A troll is someone that their life is not fulfilled, right?
No.
They need to stoke the fire by no matter what means, because there's no recourse. Right?
There's no excitement in their life.
Not only that, but they're not ever going to be held to account. When you got to answer for your shit, you're not going to do that type of bullshit.
Right.
And so because there's no accountability, of course people are going to run wild. You got to have accountability. If you don't have accountability, then this is why all these trolls need to be swept under the rug. That's not going to happen.
Right.
Right. So you end up with all this, just people talking shit to each other, which wouldn't normally happen if that wasn't the case.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I always, because I'm a big fan of technology, and I feel like obviously you probably are to some extent. You work with it, but at the same time.
Let's not say I'm a fan.
Let's not? Okay.
No.
You're not a fan. Well, I am a fan. I think it's great. A lot of, whether it's like down to medical operations, like shit like that is great. Obviously, there's obviously goods and bads to technology. I like to think of the goods in terms of like whether or not you want to start your own thing, kind of like this, or just whatever it is. Even this is just dumb. This is the most like serious conversation I've had on this podcast in like over a month. But
sorry, boy.
No. This is what I'm the one that asked you the question. I want to talk about it. But I think technology is good, but at the same time, there's obviously good and bad to everything.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And I think I don't see my biggest thing with the trolls and the cancel culture and all the negativity is they're such a small group, but they're good at being the loudest.
Yeah.
And when same thing. I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of comedians, and granted, a lot of the not a lot, but a couple of comedians that I've been fans of are under the fire right now, due to cancel culture. And whether or not they're in the wrong or not, it doesn't matter. But my point is, when it comes to like cancel culture and stuff like that, there's such a minority in terms of the bigger picture. And if you give them the light of day, obviously they're gonna be loud. They're gonna be on the spotlight. But then, if you just kind of push it all to the side, they're really nothing. And that's like going back to the trolls. Like, there's gonna be trolls here and there, but I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought on my point right there.
I mean, if you look at it, if you think about the scale, right? Like, typically the trolls are a tiny percentage.
Right.
So if you can, and I don't even know how you do this, but if you can just sweep them away,
Yeah.
like it's such a small percentage. Who cares? Don't give them the time of day.
Yeah. It's hard.
But it's really hard to not do that, right? To
Yeah.
not give them time of day because they're so vocal.
Mm-hmm.
It gets bubbled up to the top. It's really difficult. I get it, but at a certain point, like, you can exert your muscle and be like, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, well, you saw my clip about the comment that I got on my video? Did you see that?
I think I did. What was it?
It was so I was talking about this, I was like just making a stupid story, like a stupid joke about why we celebrate Easter. And I was relating it to, because in Call of Duty, if you die, you go to this place called the Gulag. And it's where you fight to get back into the fight.
Mm.
You fight one person to get back into the fight. And I was like, technically, when they killed Jesus, he went to the Gulag and then he fought, he won, and then he came back to life. That's what it was. I posted a clip like that. It was just stupid. And then somebody commented on it, and he was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I guess when you have zero talent, you try your hardest to make comedy or whatever he said. He was like, pathetic and sad. And I was like, and I commented back to him.
Why?
I commented back to him, I hope you have a better day, bro. And he deleted his comment. And I was like, yeah, fucking put your clown mask on, get the fuck out of here.
But you validated his comment.
No, I did.
Yeah.
Well, and then in my clip I said, listen, if this is the dumbest thing you've ever heard, I did my job, because I work a 9 to 5. This is where I can come and be a complete dumbass, which is what I intend to do. So if that was the dumbest thing you ever saw, hey, I did exactly what I had planned to do.
I just achieved.
Yeah. Thanks for proving my point.
But why validate the comment by responding?
Because I killed him with kindness. Now, listen.
I get it. I get that part of it. But you validated his comment by responding.
Well, I validated his comment by the content of my video anyways.
What you did what he wanted you to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows that you saw what he said.
if I validated his comment, I would have went. Don't get me wrong. When I first saw that comment, I got pissed, but I had 2 or 3 typed out comments to go back to him that were just gonna emotionally destroy this guy. I'm serious. I was going all out. He's a single dad, and fuck him.
So I'm not saying you validated what he said. Sorry, that's not what I meant at all. What I meant was that you acknowledged his comment
Right.
by responding to it.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is not acknowledge it. Or the best thing you can do for you is not acknowledge it.
No.
No?
The best thing that I can do.
Is destroy him.
No, you're missing what I said. I said that I killed him with kindness. I responded back, I hope you have a better day, bro. Peace and love.
And then he deleted his comment.
And then he deleted it because he probably realized, fuck, I just fucking, I'm a dumbass now. So I made him feel dumb at the end of it if he had to delete his comment. So technically,
maybe, but you also have no clue why he deleted it. Maybe someone else deleted it for him.
No, come on.
Probably not. But
No. The guy felt like a fucking scumbag, which he is. I mean, he's from fucking 818. Come on.
Jesus Christ, you investigated all kinds of his backstory.
It's in his name. Now, if you don't know where the 818 is, they're not bright down there. So, anyways, I gotta go pee. We gotta take a quick potty break.
All right, potty break.
You guys are going to Texas.
We're going to Texas. It's exciting.
A couple years ago, you guys wanted to move away, just out of what? Nothing? Just cause? This was before COVID, like crazy before.
Yeah,
Closer.
I think it's always been a thought, an idea of like, we've always been here. How about we go somewhere else?
Yeah.
And yeah, so thinking about where to go, there's a lot of places, Denver, Portland, Seattle.
Places that you've all been to, right?
Yeah, East Coast, a little too far. We're not doing that. But like, where would you want to go? Not a huge fan of like, being around snow for.
Oh yeah, no.
That's like
it's like
too
a small
much.
period of time you want to just like for like a weekend trip or something.
Yeah, so like where else? Maybe like Arizona.
Arizona was fucking badass.
That's super tight.
Yeah.
But it also gets hella hot.
Yeah, I mean, you got like AC. You're gonna be in an air conditioning place like 95% of your day.
Yeah, it's also Arizona.
That is true. Get a little bit closer.
So
bring it to you so you can relax.
So Texas, it's like okay, kind of middle of the country, not so bad.
I can imagine like okay, you gonna move to Texas. I feel like probably like a year down the line, you're gonna get a cowboy hat. You're gonna get some cowboy boots. You're gonna be all Texased up.
So I thought of this, right? And I think that the best remedy for that is having friends that I can send a text to and say, hey, look, check out my new shoes.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this? and I already know.
Yeah.
This,
you're gonna be the only guy in your friend group in Texas that's gonna be wearing Adidas,
yep.
And everyone else is gonna be pulling up on their horse. You got a 4Runner. That's I guess close enough. But I feel like it's funny because I feel like you're totally not that kind of person to like adjust accordingly to where you're at.
But the second that I send a text to like the heroes,
right.
They're like, hey, check out my new kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, take those off.
Yeah, they'll let you know right away.
What the hell are you doing?
They'll let you know, but you're also you're like the person. You're like, fuck you. I'm gonna wear these if I want to.
Probably not.
Really?
No.
I thought you'd be that kind of person. No, by the way, guys, my dad and I don't really ever get to sit and talk like this. So this is like a blue fucking moon, you know what I mean? This is great.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, cheers, Pops.
Cheers.
I love you, man. Thanks for coming on to the podcast.
Sugar free.
Hell yeah. No. No free ads. Come on. They don't pay me. Hey, located is fire though.
We haven't really had a whole hero discussion about this move. Like there's been, a little drop in conversations here and there.
The heroes are his friends that are like associated with the neighborhood that they live in, which is down the street from my house. It's all the dads. They call themselves the heroes. Tools. Anyways.
We're definitely the heroes of Redwood City.
Definitely the tools. Yeah, for sure. They pull up to a fucking Redwood City bar and everyone's just like, oh, fucking here we go. No, I'm just kidding. Especially when Sonny walks in.
Right.
Oh, man, nice.
So it's been we'll see. At a certain point, we're gonna have a hero conversation about this, but
it's like your friendship's breaking up a little bit.
No, not really. Like everyone's, the majority of people are just still gonna be around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be gone. Cheeks was the first one to leave, right?
Right.
the original hero to leave. We're just gonna be a little bit farther.
Yeah. Do you get sad when you think about like leaving the area?
I do get sad. I get sad about obviously I get sad about not being able to have like a Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, like who's out?
Right.
Who wants to get a cocktail?
Yeah.
Right. Real quick. Yeah, definitely get sad about that.
What are you gonna miss the most about like this area?
I think I'm definitely gonna miss the friends.
Yeah.
Right. Like again, just being able to pop over to anyone's house and like say, hey, what's up? I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss obviously this is probably the most beautiful place in the world to live.
Right.
I mean, I've only
All
lived
things
there.
considered.
All things considered, like this is a really nice place to live. I'm gonna miss that. But I'm looking forward to like just being in an open area, like being like less people, different people. I like being scared. I like being challenged. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm super looking forward to just like what's new, because nothing's really new.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's all
especially-
been the same. I mean, you've been here your whole life, so it's like
Yeah.
you need like a new experience, and here I am telling my dad how to get some new experiences in life, right? Obviously, we've talked about this the past couple weeks. Like, I'm really happy for you guys. Like, I think that's awesome that you guys are just biting the bullet finally and just going. I mean, like, it's definitely going to be crazy because you're going to be away from family, and I mean, technically it's just me and Bull or whatever, but definitely to get like a new sense of just life really is what you're going out there, you're going to experience, and meet some new people and try new things out. I don't know.
One of the things, so I've definitely thought about friends and all that. As soon as Sergi started his new school, it was pretty quick that we met like
All the
bunch of
parents.
new people.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, it's the natural thing, right?
Right.
The first month or two, you're like, these guys are douchebags.
Yeah, for sure.
It kind of sucks, right? But then you
The
get
try
to,
hard dads.
right? Then you get to know everyone. You figure out who's who. You kind of figure out where your lane is, and it all works out. So that gives me a little bit of like comfort,
Right.
knowing that okay, we can make friends anywhere.
Yeah.
We can find the right type of
If you
people
associate
anywhere.
yourself with like,
Yeah.
I think that the just like the aspect of being so involved with like a certain school and everything, even when you guys move, he's at that age where like kids are always going to be having play dates and stuff, and you're going to be picking them up or dropping your kids off or whatever. So like meeting new families and parents and stuff like that, you kind of pick up quick on who's cool and who's not cool. Like, what are my boundaries in terms of joking around with this person? Like, is it cool? Is it not cool? And then you just go from there. So I think
So you got to pick the people that are.
you got
You got to play that edge,
Right.
Find the ones that go all the
See,
way.
that's my biggest thing too. Not even, I mean, I'm not like scouting out people's parents or anything, but it's like when I meet new people, especially if I get introduced to like a new friend group or like a friend of a friend or whatever, I'll throw out some like debatable jokes and I'll see like, okay, is this person gonna laugh? And it's not like super intentional. Like I want this person to think that I'm a dick, but it's just like I want to know where I'm at and
Right.
if I'm gonna get along with this person because I'm how I am. Am I willing to suppress some things in terms of my my sense of humor? Maybe. If I feel like it's worth it. If it's not worth it, I'm not going to be around this person anymore.
Yeah, you got to test the water.
Right, for sure. And I mean, there's only one way to find out.
Right.
And if they don't like you, they don't like you. Whatever. But I think I don't know. It's easy for some people. It's not easy for people to meet others. But I think you guys will have no fucking problem. I mean,
It's definitely been I've gone through every part of the spectrum, right? Like being super shy and like not going about that, and not
right,
making friends,
not being social.
and then going to the extreme where you're
Right.
like you're overly social,
Yeah.
and you're like meeting a lot of people. But the good thing is you find your medium, and then you again you throw out those jokes. You throw out one. You
Yeah.
try to figure out where people are,
For sure.
and then you find your way. It's
When did you, like, in your life, by the way, Juicers, my dad's fucking 37. This guy's a young stallion. Now, what are you, like, 43? Same shit? Doesn't matter. He doesn't even know his age. It's all good. I wanted to know. He's
42.
He's starting to think about it. Okay. I want to know so you just said that you were shy at certain points of your life, and then you kind of started to branch out. When were you at your shy point?
Boy, probably through the majority of my life. Let's see, I'm 42, so we moved.
You can
we moved into where we're at now when I was
What was that? 2007.
2008. So
Okay.
so
That's right.
so right about turning 30. And I think the majority of that time was just really like not really knowing who you were.
Yeah.
Not really knowing what was around you. Not kind of just living your life, right? I had a really fast life, and so really meeting people that were like the heroes,
Yeah.
right? Really kind of brought out like, okay, this is who I am,
Right.
And so I think definitely in the past 10 years, I've gotten to the point where like I'm going to talk to anyone. I'm going to talk. I don't really care, right?
What do you have to lose?
Speak my yeah. What do you have to lose? Exactly. Right. I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to speak my mind. And it's not really about speaking my mind. It's just talking. Just
That's all it is.
So it is.
Seriously.
It is definitely in the. If I'm 40, it's in the last 25% of my life.
So basically, when it all comes down to like obviously who you associate yourself with.
Yeah.
And like who makes you feel comfortable. So like you become to be like more outspoken, I guess. So moving there was a fucking blessing, honestly.
It absolutely was.
Yeah, I mean you met fucking lifetime friends,
Yep.
And you got into golfing.
Got into
Like
golfing.
that's like your thing, and that's all shit that you guys can connect about or like relate and shit like that. So you gotta fucking meet some golf buddies.
It's
Texas.
it's a good thing to wrap yourself around, but it's not a crutch, right? I don't want to use that as a crutch. Like that shouldn't be the thing.
Yeah, no, you don't want to have like I know what you mean.
The thing is really like talking to people,
Right.
right? Having conversations, being able to pick up a conversation with anyone,
Right.
and talk about anything,
Yeah.
Without a crutch. So the crutch is good to get you to that point, but then pick it up and then move the conversation along, and then you'll find more things that you have in common.
Exactly.
That was clutch for me with like all the heroes, because not all the heroes were into the same thing.
Right.
None of the heroes really knew each other. I knew one person,
Yeah.
right? I knew Big Al, and then you start kind of like, hey, who else is around?
Yeah.
Right? Who else wants to get a beer?
You know what? You know what I think is also really cool about you and Laura specifically is because I think about this shit all the time. I think about, with people that have come on here, we talk about friendships, we talk about whatever. I honestly think that you guys were the missing piece of the puzzle from that whole neighborhood that became friends. Because it seems like before you guys moved there, before we moved there, no one really talked to each other. And then we moved in, and then all of a sudden, 2 years later, everyone knows each other. Everyone's all cool. Everyone's hanging out. Everyone's going to barbecues and drinking and shit together. Like that's bad. I don't know if you ever thought of it like that, but I was thinking about that. That's just fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, I do think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it because
It makes it hard.
Makes it hard. It also you don't want to think about yourself that way.
No, you don't want to no, I know what you mean. Yeah. You don't. But when you think about it in terms of like this whole friendship is nothing without me. That's not how I'm saying it.
Yeah.
I know that's
But
that's one way to
that's one way
to think about it. Yeah, it's one way to think about it for sure. But if you're thinking about it in the terms that I'm thinking about it it's like it's almost a blessing that we I think it's a blessing that we moved here because I would have never have met any of you guys.
Yes.
And then if they're thinking about it in the way that they think about it, they're like, you know what? That's actually true because if you never moved here, I never would have met this guy. So, who knows, whatever. But you can't. I don't think about it in that mindset.
I know. I always go straight for the negative. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I am thinking about this thing, but why shouldn't I be?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then I fall into
That's not a bad way to think about things because what's funny actually is because I was talking like a couple years ago. Jack and Kenny and I were talking about like this invention, and they had like all these great ideas as to why we should do this and why this thing would work. But I was the one that was like, well, that's not going to work because of this. This isn't going to work because of that. And they were like, why are you being negative? And I'm like, I'm being realistic. I mean, so it's not bad to have that like not negative aspect, but you're having a realistic aspect.
So what was the invention?
I can't talk about it.
Oh boy.
It's in the work now. I'm just kidding. It's not in the works. We were like fucking wasted when we were talking about making our own portable air conditioners. I don't know, it was something stupid.
Like out of a cooler?
I don't know. I can't remember. It was one of those 3 a.m. nights when we had almost gotten into a bar fight and got back and we're like, what can we invent, dude? We're done working these day jobs.
So I'm not sure if it's because of all the Austin talk in the area or the Texas talk, but I've gotten nothing but like homemade cooler, air conditioning cooler units
Oh.
in my Instagram feed.
Oh yeah. No, like, oh, you know what? I was gonna ask you about something like this, like a
But
question.
I would
along
never
those
buy
lines.
one of those things.
Right. Okay, so you're in tech. You're kind of a fucking tech nerd. Do you think that?
Not at all.
Yeah, he is. What do you mean, you fucking jerk? I'm not gonna say where you work, but yeah, you kind of are. Do you think? Obviously, you're getting these ads. We're being listened to by our devices.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any intel regarding this in terms of specific apps?
No, but the only thing that I'm a total Luddite, and for those who don't know what a Luddite is, it's someone who is kind of scared of technology, doesn't really.
Right. Even though you work with it.
If you knew what I worked in, yeah, then it would make no sense whatsoever. But
Right.
you know, whatever. But I'm always hesitant, right? And so the second, I'll tell you a story. I was talking to a couple of friends. So I play in a golf league called the Mediocre Golf Association, the MGA.
Shout out, guys.
Shout out MGA.
Hell yeah.
MGAtour.com. Anyway.
Send me $1,000 just for that.
Right. So we were getting ready to go to the MGA World Championship, which is every year in November in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And
What, last year?
no, last year didn't happen because
Oh, right.
of COVID.
Yeah.
But 2019, 2018, and I was talking to these guys, and I was like, hey, we're gonna meet up at the airport at this time, and can't wait to get Bloody Marys. Okay,
Oh.
this is all in text,
Yeah.
right? And so the next day on my Instagram feed, it's like Bloody Mary mix.
Right.
It's just it doesn't happen,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, okay, come on.
Yeah. It's
Come
like,
on.
well, what? It's so weird.
So this sent me down a rabbit hole of like, all right, where, what are the settings that's allowing this?
Microphone.
And digging in, no, it was actually the.
Oh, I guess not microphone.
So there's an actual setting that says, we can read your SMS.
If you look in the terms and
And
conditions,
MMS.
we have access
Yeah.
to
So
your.
you got to drill in like 3 levels, but then you can find it and turn it off. And you're like, God damn it. Okay, but everything resets.
Yeah.
If you get a new phone, you install it again. Everything's reset from new. So
That's I mean, okay, so that's the thing that's a little weird because technically it's a disclaimer when you download the app.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the terms and conditions. No one ever reads that. It's a decade long.
Right.
So then all of a sudden people are finding out, oh, I'm being listened to, or oh, my texts are being monitored. Fuck that. Fuck all these companies, whatever. And then you go read the fine print and it's there. So technically it's on you.
Yeah.
And if people were to know that, like if you download like whatever app, I'm not gonna name any apps, but ones that we use every day. And you download the app and then it gives you the terms and conditions, but the first like number 1 in bold says, we have access to your text messages and your microphone. So like I'll be but if it said that, you'd be like, oh, what? I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to download this app because, not that I have anything to hide, but I feel like I deserve some sense of privacy, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously they give you the option to turn it off, so that's good. But like, even with my microphone, like there's things that I never look up on my phone, but I'll be talking about just to Frank or whatever, anybody. And then I see ads of it on like social media and I'm like, okay, hold on a second.
yeah, what's up?
This is weird. I gotta like tape up my webcam and shit.
Well, I mean, that's it's you accept something blindly.
Right.
So there's that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Just be diligent.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, what are you worried about? Be diligent about those.
Yeah.
And
then like I said, like it's not even about not having anything to hide.
No.
It's just,
It's definitely not
like,
about that at all.
yeah, it's like, this is supposed to be, like, the best country in the world, but we're being, like, spied on or being watched and this and that. I'm not worried about it, but it's just, like, we also deserve some sense of privacy.
It's a lot less than what other people are probably accustomed to, so.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, first world problems, right? Sorry, huh?
Yes.
But, but that's all I know.
Yeah.
Some people in other countries that are less fortunate, that's all they know, whatever. I'm not comparing myself to anybody else, but I'm just saying, that's what we're dealing with in the States.
Boy, tell me, what are your thoughts about us moving to Texas?
Man. I'm definitely going to miss just, like, popping in and saying what's up like I normally do. I'll stop by like once or twice a week. Maybe like once a week, just to drop in and say hi.
It hasn't been once or twice a week in a long time.
It's been once a week, dude.
I don't know.
It has been. You're on your phone the entire time, so it gets blurred in. Doesn't even matter.
Possible.
Whatever. All right. Hey, who asked you to come to my house and be on my fucking podcast, motherfucker? It was me, right?
It was very opportunistic.
Yeah, right? I don't know. I'm definitely going to miss just being able to pop in and say what's up. I mean, whatever. And I'm going to miss the food that you occasionally make. It's all good. I don't know. What I think about you guys moving is I think it's cool. Like, it's a fresh start. And I envy it a lot. I really do. I can't wait to get out of here. I really can't.
So you totally avoided the question. I said, what are you going to miss? What else? That's it?
Oh, were you expecting me to say I'm going to miss you?
No. It's just, sorry, not what you're going to miss. What do you think about it? Like, what do you think about the whole process situation? Like, it's kind of a big move, right?
Right.
And hopefully you'll be out there in a few years.
Well, I already said like 4 times I'm happy for you guys that you guys are moving.
No, I know, but like, bigger picture, like, does it?
I don't understand. I don't even think you understand the question.
Yeah, I guess I don't. I'm thinking not just like, work, family, just moving away from this area.
The way that I think about it is you guys are fortunate enough to work for a place that you kind of have some kind of freedom to make this move. So I think that's awesome. What else do I think about it? I think that it's a great opportunity for you guys as a family to venture out into the world and do something different and get new experiences, meet new people, try out new things by the time you're out there, get new ideology. When people move to other places like that, it's because they're leaving the places that they all of a sudden realize that they don't really like very much, or maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just you want to get new ideas. It could be as simple as that, new experiences. That's what I think about it. I think it's great. Like I said, I'm envious of it. Like, really, if I could move with you guys, believe me, I would be moving with you guys. But I can't. I'm tied down. So, for a couple more years, though. And I'm not, I'm not like, I would say I'm about 70% sure that I'm going. Like, I'm following you guys. But it is hard. Like, when it comes to, like, it's all easier said than done for me right now because I'm where I'm at right now. Yeah. I'm not in a relationship. I have a good job. And by the time I'm 28, which is when I'll be able to move, who knows? Maybe I'll meet somebody by that time. I don't know about that, but maybe I will, and maybe they won't want to be down to move. So I don't know. I think all around though, it's a good idea.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think about a little bit is obviously Serge is coming, Sis is coming, and then I'm like, okay, in 3 years, maybe 4 years, we're not sure. Joe's coming. What if he doesn't? God damn it.
That's not a big deal. I mean, I don't...
It's not a huge deal.
But here's the thing. For no reason, I don't know if you guys think this, I genuinely, I know I joked about it in the beginning, I don't think you guys are abandoning anything. Me, the rest of the family.
We don't think so either.
Okay, because I don't know. It is what it is.
I know that other people might think that.
Yeah.
But that's definitely not the way we think.
But you know what? Guess what? That's not your problem. It's not your problem for people to think that.
We don't take it on as our problem. Actually, I don't take it on as my problem.
I mean, dude, at the end of the day, regardless of what anybody thinks, with anything that you do, and I talk about this all the time in here, just fucking do it, man. And you guys are doing it. It's fucking badass. You guys are getting rid of the cabin. I bet that was sad.
Not as sad as you would think. Like it
well,
was.
For you.
No, all together. Like we went up there maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, and getting there with Laura and Serge, and like you could kind of feel the sadness coming on, right? Like like you could feel it in the air, and stepping in and being like, oh wow, it's not as we had left it, and we're going to take it away. We're going to take all of our personal stuff out even more. It seemed like it would be sad. And then at the end, we were kind of just rushing to get out because we wanted to come home. There was not a whole lot of sadness there, right? And then we were just gone. And then I went back last weekend, and yeah, it kind of sucks walking in and you're like, where's all the shit?
Yeah.
You know, like none of my stuff's here. And the fact that none of the stuff's here, okay, this is no longer my house. And then it's like you get in a mindset. Now you're like, okay, now I just gotta get all my stuff out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about it. And I realized that 2 weeks ago we were here with the family and we kind of just left. So it kind of just got washed away.
Yeah.
Like
But
it's fine. Almost like it never happened.
Do you think that you're the, well, I don't even want to ask if I think this because I feel like you are, but are you're the kind of person that, like, when it comes to things involving emotion, you sweep a lot of that stuff under the rug?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Is that a defense mechanism?
Maybe so much in that, like, you don't want things to affect you, right? So I guess the way that I see it is, like, if I have no control over it,
Yeah.
then it really shouldn't affect me. I should really only be considerate of things that I can affect.
So in terms of moving,
So in terms of the cabin, I have total control of that,
Right.
right? I made that decision.
so that's why you don't let it affect
So
you.
we're done.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Like the wall's been put up.
Right.
And you know that was for me. That was never like as glamorous as the thought of it. Glamorous not the right word, but as however you know, as a fantasy that the thought might have been to, like, this is a cabin, this is our family cabin, we're gonna have every Christmas here.
Right.
That's kind of bullshit, right? It's like it's a split level cabin. It's 3 stories. You got to go upstairs, downstairs, take a shit. Like, you're not gonna grow old there. That's not reality, old man. So don't even start thinking about it that way, right? Think about it as an investment and then move on.
Right.
And then we'll find something later on. So it was never like, you know, the fantasy going into it might have been nice,
Yeah.
but then reality sets in, and then it's no longer that, right? It's going to be a thing that you will get rid of at some point, and then we'll move on. And we're at that point now.
When did you guys buy? You bought 2018?
2018, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Time flew by with that thing. I've only been up there probably like 10 times.
No, I think you've gone like 3 times.
No, I've been there more than that for sure.
I don't know about that.
No, yeah, I've been there more than that. I promise you.
I was thinking about that when I think this last or second to last time we were going up, I was like, God damn, I think Joe's only been like maybe 3 or 4 times. Definitely not 10 times. Absolutely not.
I think so.
But even same thing with Sissy. Like, I've been up there a shitload of times.
Well, yeah.
Heroes have been up there more times than you have. Even more times than Sissy has. But, you know, we had a... I mean,
But that's the
we
thing,
have
though.
all the
Like,
pictures,
you were able to go up there with your boys, and it was fun, you know?
That was great. It was great.
You know what? I would have been down to go on one of those trips, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like What?
What?
What do you mean, Dude, listen, I get lit, alright? Don't even try to say shit, no. You know what? You know why I would have went? Because all of my friends are fucking out of here. And so I got to resort to the next best thing as the heroes. I'm going to go ahead and hang out with a bunch of middle-aged old men, dude. Come on. They're going to be like, fuck Joe's talking all these shows, podcasts. No, like, that would have been fun.
They're pretty fun.
And then, oh yeah, so hold on. We got to talk about, my dad is fucking infiltrating my friendship.
How so?
This guy.
What's up, Wham?
What's up, Wham, dude? I know he's going to be listening to this fucking podcast, dude. Yeah, Wham and I are down to go golfing with you guys if you go before you move.
Perfect.
I'll be I'll get a DUI on that golf cart, you know. The only time I'll ever do that. And Wham will probably be golfing.
We can do it.
I don't golf, man. I just don't.
You
You know what though?
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that idea of starting golf. Because a lot of my friends golf and I've just never been into it. I don't know how to, I just don't know. And when we went to Topgolf, we were just like shooting ball, like it was just whatever when I went to Texas. And it was kind of fun, and that's just a driving range.
But you know, Topgolf just opened in San Jose.
San Jose, yeah.
Like yesterday.
Yeah, I saw people that I know are already there.
Yeah.
They were there like first day it opened. I was like, God damn, dude, right on. I want to go. It's hella fun.
And the Elks is right up the street.
Mm-hmm.
You can go play 9 holes there anytime you want.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go do that by myself.
Well, not by yourself, no.
But I mean, it would definitely be like okay, let's put it this way. I can see why it'd be fun to go do that with the boys, for sure. Just drink a couple drinks and hit a couple balls.
Well, it's like, if you're going to go hang out with your boys
Just
for
make it
4
fun.
hours, what are you going to do?
Right. hanging out in your room gets a little boring. That was, I mean, that's what we would do for, like, before COVID, when we'd go hang out like Jack's place. And that's all we would do. We would just go to his house, go to the bar, go back, drink, and then just watch like a comedy or something.
Right. So go out, hit the golf course.
Yeah.
For 2 hours.
Jack was always the guy that would be like, we should go golfing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going home. See ya. I'll go play Xbox or something. I don't know.
But at least you're outside.
You're
outside, walk around.
That's true.
Beers.
So when you moved to Texas, you're not like you're not a big guns guy, are you?
No. I've never had a gun. I've shot guns. I'm not against guns. I'm like, everyone should do whatever they want.
Right.
I would like to have some guns. I'm not a huge fan. I'm kind of scared of them.
I'm the same way.
But I think it's important. So interesting you asked this. I've been looking into like handgun safety. Like I want to go through a course. I want Laura to go through a course. Like
for sure.
I want all of us to go through a course just to know, because it's better you know than not know.
Right.
Whether or not I choose to go down that route, we'll figure that out. But like I'm not a huge proponent or opponent.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like when I went to Texas a couple weeks ago to hang out with Jason, we went shooting, and when we were leaving, I was like, man, dude, I enjoyed it a lot. It was like my second or third time. It was my third time shooting a gun, or two guns, and we were leaving, and I was like, it's just like, it's definitely a nice feeling to actually get a shot out, and just a couple, however many shots we did, but leaving there, I was like, dude, I don't have that like itch to want to just continue to do that.
It's not so much about the itch.
Well, for a lot of people, it is.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. For me, it's not about the itch. For me, it's about wanting to be prepared, wanting to be, like, there's no reason that Laura should ever take a gun class or have to fire a gun, right? But she should probably know how to handle a gun, just in case, right? So it's all about preparedness for me. I don't intend to do anything more than just want to be prepared.
Yeah. There's a place in Los Angeles that I wanted to go to. It's called Terran Tactical. You probably heard it on Joe Rogan. Dude, it's like where John Wick learned how to shoot for his movies and shit like that. Or Keanu Reeves. And I was planning a trip to LA. I never went. This was like just before COVID happened. This was after we got back from when we went to LA.
Yeah.
I was planning to go back there. And I was looking at the place. I didn't see any like pricing or anything, but I assumed that it was going to be super expensive. But I was just like one place that I really wanted to go to and just like actually get like actual training instead of just going to a range and just shooting.
Yeah.
Like it would be nice to, like just know how to actually hold it, how to reload it properly, make, just all the safety shit. Gun safety is like the number one thing you obviously want to know. But then, just like I said, shooting the guns, it was fun and everything. But when we were leaving, I was like, it was kind of scary. It was kind of scary to shoot it. Well, you just feel like so empowered, and it's just like a power that I didn't really like.
So here's my perspective. So where we live right now, right? We're in a 1,500 square foot house. From the point that you get into my front door to the point where you're like in my room is like 4 steps. As a grown man, 1, 2, 3, 4, like you're in my room.
Well, as a over 5'7" guy, so for me it's about 8.
For Joe, it'd be probably get in the car.
You got about 40 feet from the front door to your bedroom.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
So there's no way that that in your head at 3 a.m. you're gonna be startled.
Yeah.
Be able to like figure out what's going on, get into your safe, because your gun always has to be in a safe, and figure out how to get your gun out, load it, and then be ready to go. Like you're fucked. At that point, like you're getting stuffed.
Do you?
Come on.
It's game over. Right?
So it's game over. So there's no point, right?
Yeah. So you're a big comedy fan too.
Yes.
You enjoy comedy. I remember years ago, I was at the house and you were in the living room, and it was late at night and you were watching Bill Burr, and it was his special. It's black and white.
Yeah.
And he had a bit in there, and since then, I've watched that special at least 5 times. I rewatch a lot of specials, and I got reminded of this bit where he was like, "Then I gotta get a gun." And then there's always the fucking guy that has a gun right next to his bed. And he gets out of his bed, and then he has to walk across the fucking house to go get the ammo. And fucking, by the time fucking guy's in your room, you're dead already. Or you shoot, and it's like, boo! It makes this crazy ass laugh. That's the reality, though. It's totally like that. At least for here. I don't know. Maybe not, but yeah, there. You just fucking have your loaded gun right next to your bed in case some bastard wants to come in and figure some shit out, and you just let him know what's up. That's what you gotta do.
All right, juicers, guess what? I'm gonna have to make a whole intro for what just happened. But we had a little technical difficulty and got rid of all the audio.
Not we.
My dad fucked it up. He was listening to Bad Bunny.
How dare you?
When you were younger, you want another beer?
Yeah.
Which one do you want?
The yellow one.
All right.
When I was younger, like 5 years ago. Like when?
When you played drums.
Yeah.
What got you into doing that? Did you want to be a musician?
Yeah, I think that was the only thing that really interests me ever was like just music, and for no, well, I guess probably I was gonna say for no reason. That's total bullshit. The reason is my dad would like get up every Saturday morning, and he was off on Saturdays, and he would just play guitar and sing, like play guitar and sing in the house.
Yeah. Like
there was music in the house, and it wasn't recorded music.
Mm-hmm.
It was music being played by someone in the house, and he was singing out loud. And that was constant. That was every Saturday morning. And so he never specifically said, "Hey, listen to this music." He never put music on. He never played music. But I think just listening to that, probably something got baked in my brain that I need to listen to music. So I love listening to music all the time. I always have to have it in the background. And so that was kind of the catalyst for me just wanting to listen to music and thinking about stuff. There was nothing that I can pinpoint that said you need to play drums.
Right.
But when my cousin Serge, my cousin Serge, I call Bob. So when Bob said, "Hey, check out this drummer," and it was Tom Sawyer.
Neil Peart.
And it was Neil Peart playing Tom Sawyer. I was like, holy fucking shit, this is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. And
how old were you?
Could anyone do this? I was probably like 11.
Okay.
10 or 11. 11.
How much older is Bob than you?
We're 8 years apart. So
okay.
He was born in 71. I was born in 78. Listening to that was like, wow.
Mind blowing.
I need to figure out how to do that. And even if I never do, like totally cool, but I just want to play that same instrument.
Yeah.
Had it been guitar, that would have been great, but it was drums. And so not to say that I ever got anywhere near being able to play that well, but I just played, right? Just played and played and played. And it didn't matter, right? It was just the motion of like having music in your life forever.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's cool that you were able to pick that up just from listening to one person play drums. Like, before you got introduced to Rush, like, what were you listening to? Were you like a hip hop person at first before that?
So I remember the first piece of music that I ever bought was Beastie Boys.
Nice.
What is the name of the album with the airplane, crashing? I forget the name.
I don't know.
But that was the very first, and I bought that at the flea market, San Jose flea market. I bought the cassette tape for that. I bought two. I bought that one, and I bought Run DMC, their first album. Those were my two pieces of music that I bought. Cassette tapes.
Yeah, it's
for
crazy.
Sure. And then from there I started buying a little bit more that type of hip hop. Because that's all there was, at least all there was available to me at the time. And then, there was always like Mexican music in the background.
Right.
Probably significantly influencing me at the time, maybe a couple years after that, was Mexican music that I'm not really sure how I came across. I mean, obviously there was family influences there just because our cousins were deep into that game down in Mexico. I don't really remember when that came into like my brain of like I need to listen to this other type of music. Two totally different types of music,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Which is great because you should have as many influences as possible. But that's like Run DMC, Beastie Boys were my first like okay, this is music that I like that I'm gonna buy, and then Mexican music was like it's a little more chill, and I kind of like this too. Like I
Yeah.
like both for their own specific reasons. But it was great because it gave me like a couple different avenues to like think about
Hmm.
when it came, you know, to like music.
Right. Yeah, that's see, I always tell people or I actually talk about it a lot on this podcast, which is you were my biggest influence when it came to music. Just because obviously you were always rocking out when I was growing up. Like I remember whenever you would drive me to my mom, you would I remember specifically you played like Fleetwood Mac, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Queen, like all these bands. And Rush especially. Rush was like the first one that I could ever remember listening to, and I was like, "Oh, this is sick." And then like Ozzy Osbourne, all of them, all the bands. And I obviously that's how I got into music. And I got into music because I got into music because Wesley. Like Wesley had his brothers had an impact on the music that we started to play. Now my interest in music started with you, and I'm so fortunate for that because it's a genre that's just like kind of dying now. It seems. I mean, you don't really listen to new wave rock now, and there's not really rock music that was like the late '90s, early 2000s. That there's like no such thing anymore,
No.
and at least not that's popular. And I just try to keep that shit alive. I listen to that. It's like all of my gym playlists. It's all I listen to still, and I only listen to music when I go to the gym. I don't listen to music any other time of the day, just because I'm either listening to podcasts or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just think it's cool that you got into it just from that one experience of just finding Neil Peart.
I mean, I think it's so hard when you think about like music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, for me at least, like I find it really difficult to when I think about music that's being produced now, like what is it? What's catchy about it? What is bringing me back to it? What is looping me in? And for me, it's like I can listen to a song from, I can listen to Hendrix and be like, "Oh, I got that. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome." I don't listen to anything now that's like, "Ooh, that's
That
got
catches
me."
you?
That catches me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like it's always something from like, "Oh, when was that song from?" "Oh, like 1978." "Oh, it's
What is it with a song that catches you?
it's the instruments.
The instruments.
If there's no instruments, then it's garbage.
Are you
And I'm using hyperbole here. Like it's not. It can be electronic music. It can be awesome. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, if there's not like a guitar riff, like you can have one strum of a chord and be like, God damn.
Yeah.
Or you can have one drum roll to enter into a song and be like, fuck, that's awesome. Or you can have, a chord on the keyboard and be like, God damn, that's fucking killer.
Yeah.
But you can't have just like a, just like electronic sound that
Yeah.
brings you in. That's the difference for me.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I see where you're coming from for sure. Like, obviously, I'm a musician. We're both musicians, and like we can appreciate when we hear like just solid fluidity within a song, just with instruments, and it could just be a drummer and a bassist.
Yeah.
And if that's solid, then that's solid. I mean, don't get me wrong. Rush would be a killer band without Alex Lifeson, but then, I mean, he's also a really good guitarist.
Poor Alex.
He's,
He's really good.
but he's really good. That's what I'm just saying. Like that's.
But you're not wrong.
But listen. That's how good of a band that they are. You could take out any. You can't take out Neil Peart.
No,
you can't take out Neil
You can't
Peart.
take out Geddy Lee. Come on.
Okay, you can't. But like,
You really can't.
okay. If they're Alex Lifeson's life, he's expendable.
I get your point.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
your point.
But like, I totally know what you mean. But now listen. I got just recently put into the electronic music vibe. You probably heard it. You heard it when you walked in. That music is really interesting. It was really interesting to me because I've been introduced to a couple bands that, or not bands, just DJs that are former musicians, and they know how it works. Like they know the fluidity of a song. This is the build up. This is the impact, the climax, and then this is where it drops and fades out a little bit. It's just a different. It's just a different taste. That's all it is.
So if you had asked me, 3 years ago, I would have said absolutely not. Get out of here.
Kind of like with Bad Bunny.
Look,
3 years ago or 3 minutes ago? You tell me.
But after like having listened to some of it, just because I was curious, like it's pretty good, and I can deal with it.
Right.
It's a little bit too much fast paced for me.
Well, now, yeah, that's the thing about
on an everyday level.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing with EDM is there's so many different subgenres. So like you can be really into like house music, which is just like it's kind of like background like mid-tempo music where you just have it on. People are just like talking and it's a little vibe. But then you have like dubstep, which is like that wow wow like that kind of shit. That gets a little crazy. I'm not really a big fan of that, but I've been to. So what I was gonna say was I'm going to a rave in Texas next weekend, and it's a festival, and it's different from listening to it versus actually being there. Because I went to a rave before COVID. It was at Shoreline, and before I went there, I only went to see Juice WRLD. And he was the only rapper that was there. You remember Juice WRLD was the rapper that died when we were in LA,
Yep.
and I like fucking had a panic attack about it. He was the only rapper there, so I was like, fuck it, I'll go. At the time, I wasn't into EDM. I mean, I was like what you are. I was like, whatever about it. Then I went there, and I was like, hold on a second, this is crazy. Like, people have this like idea about ravers that's just like, oh my god, they're on drugs and they're wearing no clothes and they're wearing all these beads and shit, nerds. But I gotta be honest, when I went there, it was just like it doesn't even matter if they were on drugs or not. It was just like everyone here is so happy. Like it's kind of cringy to say, but you really do feel the music, and people take music however they perceive it and however makes them feel. So like going to see people react to that kind of music because they're passionate about it, and you really feel the music because there's lyrics within these songs too, and the lyrics are really good.
Yeah. So I think we're talking about two different things actually. So I think that what you're talking about is the concert is in the audience. The music is, kind of feeding into it, but the concert is actually happening out here. What I like to see is I do like to see this part, but I'm less interested in the people part of it. I'm more interested in actually watching. Like when I go to a concert, I am 100% focused on one of the people on the stage.
Right.
Either the drummer or the guitarist or the person playing. Like I focus in on.
You came
all
here
these
for
guys.
one thing.
I came here for one thing. I didn't come here for the vibe. I came here to watch the people do their art.
Okay.
And then I absorb it, right? That's just me. What I hear you saying is like you feel it in the crowd, and these are two separate things. Obviously, it's all because of one thing, because of the music. I go there for something different.
That's fair. Now don't get me wrong. I go to a concert to see the band.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
But the way that I look at it is if I'm in such a good setting to where I can connect, I don't even need to talk to these people, but if I can connect with all these people around me that are connecting with the artist like I'm connecting with the artist, that makes it so much cooler for me.
Yeah.
To be in a crowd that's just, we are all here to just have such a good time because this person on stage brought us all together. We don't need to talk at all. But I see that smile on your face, that makes me happy. And most of the time, I don't give a fuck what people are going through. If someone's having a bad day, whatever.
At this moment, in this time, like we're all here for the same.
And we're having
reason.
such a blast. Yeah. Like that makes me so happy when I see other people that are happy just because they're experiencing exactly what I'm experiencing. Like that guy's on stage and he's bringing you that much joy. Let's fucking go. Like this is so sick. Like that's, I'm not saying plus I'm a big, I like to people watch. Like when I go out to events like that, I like to just kind of scope this scene and just see how people are, whatever the hell they're doing. And And people like you totally different. You go there for one thing only, and that's it. But like how I do it, just like I said, I like watching how other people react to what I'm seeing and see if we have the same reaction. If we are, let's fucking go. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the rave next week. I'm going with Frank, his girlfriend, and my buddy Clark.
Where in Texas?
Dallas.
Okay.
And it's the first concert back.
What's the format? Like, is it like Friday to Sunday or Thursday?
Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday.
So we fly. I'm leaving Friday morning, next Friday, or this Friday. Friday morning, land there. Frank and them are landing at a different airport, but I'm on the way to where we're staying. So he's gonna pick me up Saturday. They try to tell us that we have to get COVID We have to get COVID tested and have that have those results sent, or you have to have proof and take it to the venue and show it to them before you go there. But they recently just updated it. You don't have to do that. They're just doing that regular screening that every place has now. In the past 14 days,
Like
have you experienced
Yeah.
a cough or a fever or whatever? So that's nice because I have to go out of my way to go get COVID tested and shit, whatever. But I'm excited for it because this is the first concert I'll be going to since 2019.
It's funny, when you do the COVID testing, it's like, I'm not opposed to getting tested. I just don't want to go out of my way to get tested.
Well, are you saying COVID test or the vaccine?
Test.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to getting tested.
Well, I have the same thought process about the vaccine.
I'm not opposed to getting the vaccine. I just don't want to go out of my way to get the vaccine.
Hey, guys. What's up, Juices? Remember when I said that exact thing verbatim a couple weeks ago? We're the same person. He's a little taller than me.
This is how I feel.
Yeah.
Not opposed.
Don't worry. We got a juice debate to talk about it in a second.
Oh, boy.
We'll wait for that a little later. What are you doing today? You chilling?
Yeah.
Can you walk me through what happened yesterday?
What happened yesterday? Oh.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. They call him Vasecti Alex. That's what they call him for the next week.
Who's they?
I don't know. What happened yesterday?
So what happened yesterday was, let's see. So I got up in the morning.
He got a vasectomy, guys.
I got a vasectomy yesterday. I can no longer have kids, but I can have kids for the next 12 weeks.
Holy shit!
If I try really hard.
If he tries, don't try.
Yeah. So you get there. A 30-year-old Alex would have been like, I'm out.
Really?
Out. Yeah, because the nurse's assistant, who's a lady, walks in and she's like, all right, drop everything and lay down.
Okay.
So when she says drop everything, it's like you're naked from the waist down.
Right. I'm used to that.
Okay. So you lay down and you're just like, all right.
You're in the position like you're giving birth.
How's it going?
What's up? This is all of me.
What time is lunch?
You're like, is it fucking AC on? And
Right.
Sorry, I don't.
Is it really cold in here? Because
it's like, no, it's 80.
No, it's like 74 degrees.
Yeah,
in here,
yeah.
sir.
That's just how you are, know. All right.
So then she does what she calls cleaning it up. So
right.
She cleaned it up. And then she walks out. And then the doctor comes in. Doctor comes in and says, how are you doing? Makes a lot of small talk. Makes a big deal out of small talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like talking about everything. Trying to find out what can I do to keep this person involved as long as possible. And I caught a strategy, right?
You picked up on it.
Yeah. He was just trying to keep you talking as long as possible because
distract him.
Everything he was doing for the next 6 minutes was going to be very uncomfortable.
For you.
For me.
Well, they numb you, right?
Not for him. Part of the numbing process is really uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
It's really uncomfortable.
Right.
And so they know, so there's 2 balls, if you're not aware.
Depends on what gender you are.
And regardless, there should always be 2.
Okay.
And so they apparently numb each one individually, and that process is very uncomfortable. But it's only uncomfortable for like 10 seconds, right? So let's go through this.
Pain is temporary, guys.
1, 2,
I'm counting right here.
4,
We don't need to go all the way,
right?
but I get it.
You can get it.
Yeah.
It can be uncomfortable. But once you're clear of that, it's smooth sailing.
Right.
At that point, it's like
All right. Well, have a good day. See ya.
15 minutes and you're out, and that's it.
So what? They stitch it up and you're good to go.
They give you a couple stitches, and you're out.
Did they? Is it sore?
No.
You don't need one of those donut pillows.
Nope.
Interesting.
Didn't need anyone to drive me home. Didn't need anyone to hold my hand.
I would have. You just called me up.
I got in and out animal style afterwards.
Did you?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's solid.
A couple
So now
cocktails.
what? No more little Alexes. No more Joey Juices. It's just done. It's all done. I don't have any more siblings coming.
Potentially in the next 12 weeks.
All right.
But I got to go hard.
All right. Well,
That's
hold
not
on.
happening.
Okay.
That's not happening.
This is weird now.
Not happening whatsoever.
All right. We're just gonna sit with the fact that no more kids.
No more kids.
What would you do if like all of a sudden she was like, I'm pregnant. It is what it is.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Well, you're leaving one behind, so might as well just
It's
pick it. That's all good. See you, Joe. By the way, you got a little sister coming up. That's it.
or brother.
Or brother. Well, yeah.
Or fluid.
Yeah, fluid is just, there's no brother or sister anymore. It's fluid. And you got to add an X on the end of it.
Sibling X.
Sibling. We're having a baby X. Whatever. What? Okay. Where do you think? This is a weird question. I'm trying to phrase it in a way that's not weird. What do you think would be different in your life? Obviously everything, but like, you had me when you were 17.
Yeah.
What plans changed after that? Like, what were you plan? What? Okay, how about this? Where were you headed had I not been born?
Nowhere. I didn't really have any plans. Everything was always focused around music, which means that everything was kind of up in the air all the time, right? It was going to be music or bust.
Okay.
My preferred path was going to be to, learn how to run a board, like learn how to record in a studio.
Be a producer.
Be a producer. Like, not be a producer, but like learn everything about it to eventually be a producer. Yeah.
Right.
That was the goal. That didn't change because of anything specific. I mean, that didn't change because of like kids or anything. That changed because the school that I was going to go to didn't, their office closed down in one area. It kind of focused on another area. I didn't want to do the commute.
Right.
In retrospect, I probably should have done the commute, or maybe I would have. But that's really it for me. It's always very basic. It's like yes or no.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a big spectrum of like options. I want to have very like deliberate choices to have to be made.
So you didn't plan to go to a college?
No, I think as soon as I probably turned 16, I realized that there's no college here.
Yeah.
Like we're not going anywhere very substantial. So figure out where you can make money.
Yeah.
And like double down your ass on that and make money. It was never about like music was a choice, and that would have been the optimal choice. But after that kind of fell through, it was always about, all right, what are you gonna do to make the most money as fast as possible?
Okay. And that was when you were 16. You realized that, or was that?
No, that was probably when I was like 18.
Okay, so that was when I was born already.
Yeah. Well, when you were born, I realized that okay, now like someone depends on you.
Or what about when you found out that I was a thing?
Then it was still like, let's look towards doing the thing in music because I could probably make money. It's furthering myself.
Right.
Versus just graduating high school. When that fell through, then it was like find different find alternatives. But it was at a certain point, it turned to just like make a living,
Yeah.
like make money, make a living, support.
No screwing around anymore.
Nope.
You know, I gotta have a kid so he can grow up and be a fucking podcaster and do HVAC. That's what it turned into.
There's it could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about that a lot. Like,
It didn't turn out so bad.
yeah. I was a shithead, really, in school. I talk about this all the time, too. Like, I would school just wasn't, it wasn't my thing. You know that better than anybody.
It wasn't my thing either.
Yeah, and I totally get, like, looking back on shit now, like, it's interesting to talk about this with you because we've never talked about this before. And, regardless of how, like, terrible of a student I was, like I said, I talk about this shit all the time on here. I was such a bad student. Like, I had no interest, and just nothing caught my attention. Just growing up, I never wanted to do anything other than, at the time, play music and skate, and, like, that's just shit that I just loved.
Yeah.
And then, getting older, I had the same thing that you kind of went through. Like, when I got to JC, I was like, I went there for kinesiology. I was really big into fitness. I wanted to do something with fitness. And then I realized I like this more for myself. I don't want to learn how to do anything in terms of physical therapy. That interests me, but it's not interest me enough to where I want to do that with my life. And then, I had friends that are in the trades, and they said you can make a good living on it, dude. I mean, it's a good job if you like working with your hands. And that's just what caught my attention. And now I'm in school again, but this is school that I can apply to actually what I'm doing. A lot of times people are in school, you're learning stuff that has no correlation to what you're going to be doing later in life. I mean, you talk to anybody that has a degree, I would say about 70%, maybe even less, 50% of those people that have degrees aren't even working in jobs that they got their degree in. So now I'm in school for something that I do every day, which is beneficial, obviously. But I landed a job, and now I feel like I'm doing all right, So we find our way along the way. But it was at a point where I was like, now I need to just figure out what I'm going to do to make a living. Like, we can relate on that for sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting to, kind of see how you've progressed from, coming out of high school and not really knowing anything.
Yeah.
Right? Not really knowing, like,
I didn't have a path.
what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, where am I supposed to go? And then seeing you jump, to a little stint in JC, and then saying, I'm going to go try this thing. And I remember that conversation very, very vividly. I remember saying,
I remember it 100%.
Do what you want.
No.
But no. I think what I said was, give it 6 months. And if you don't like it in 6 months, come back to school. But
yeah,
do that part of it. What do you remember?
I probably could have went a different way with this better than I needed to, but I needed to just rip the Band-Aid off because I left school without telling you guys. I scheduled my classes for the fall semester at the end of summer, and then last minute behind the scene, I hit up Mike, and I was like, I need you to get me a job at this company. My uncle, for people I don't know. And he said, I can get you a job, come and interview and we'll figure it out. And I got the job, and I canceled all my classes. I canceled all of them. I didn't tell you. I didn't tell Laura. Until about a week later. I hadn't started my job yet, but a week later, I was so scared to tell you guys that I stopped school. And I met you guys to get food. And I said, I'm not going back to school. I'm taking time off, and I'm going to try this job and whatever. Laura just did not have that whatsoever. And then you said the same thing. It was like, it was this conversation that just went nowhere other than south. And I got up and I left. I just got up and I left. And I totally get it too. Like, it's not something that you want to hear, but like I said, I had to rip the Band-Aid off. I had to just tell you guys. And then later on, we talked about it again. We went out to the back of the house, backyard, and then you said, try it out. That's when you said, try it out for 6 months or whatever you said. And just right then and there was when I just knew. I was like, dude, if they're going to let me live here still, there's no way I'm fucking around now. Like, I just can't. Like, I have to do this now. Like, this is legit. I'm not, my biggest fear when I was out of high school was I didn't want to be a loser. Like, that's the last thing I want to be. I don't want to be a fucking loser. And so when you said try it and see how you like it, I was like, oh man, now I really got to fucking do it. Now I really got to do it, man. You know, like, and here we are, you know, we're fucking 5 years down the line, and it's just fucking, it is what it is. And dude, I wanted to ask you, because I never asked you this either. When I remember when I told you when I was moving out too. How'd you feel about that? Were you like, all right, cool? Did you think that I would be living with you guys for like a lot longer?
No, you know, like I think my immediate reaction is, my immediate reaction is like, thank God. Like, holy shit.
It's about time.
Long time coming, right? That's the immediate reaction.
Yeah.
But the real reaction is like, okay, this is good, right? This is like, he thinks he can do this. I'm never going to tell him this. Like, we're a backstop. We're always a backstop.
What does that mean?
That means that you can always fall back on us.
Okay.
I'm never going to tell him this. But it's good for him to think that he can do this on his own. And to go and try it. Like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. It was definitely time for me to get the fuck out of that house. Not that it was bad or anything, but you know, there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
I needed to get out. And it's not like I moved far anyways. It just needed to happen.
Right.
That's what's cool. And you know what's funny too is I have this conversation with a couple people, or I've had this conversation. It's funny when you move out of your parents' house, not that you had a bad relationship before, because we didn't, but when you like what I found when we moved out is I became a lot closer with you guys. It seems like in terms of like conversation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because when I lived there, I feel like we never talked.
It makes it easier.
Yeah, it does. Just like, well, yeah, obviously I'm on my own now.
Well, it's you know, it's the difference, I think, is the parent-child relationship. When you move out, you become more of an equal. Mm-hmm. Because you're now like on your own. You're kind of doing your own thing, right? And so it's easier as a parent. Not that I really thought about this until this very moment, but it's easier as a parent to like see you as an equal, or see you as someone who's, you know, kind of living your own life, running your own life, and owning your own life when you're actually doing that versus when, hey motherfucker, you're still using my toilet paper.
Right.
You know, that's a different scenario there, even though the mechanics are still the same.
Yeah.
But, you know, actual like the economics are totally different.
Right. See, it's funny too because like when I think about this kind of stuff, you'd be surprised at how much shit I think about on a day-to-day basis. Just like stuff that doesn't even really matter. Like
I wonder where you get it from.
Yeah, oh yeah, Apple doesn't fall far. So like I think about stuff that you know, after moving out, I was like, okay, this is it now. I'm out. You know, this is great. I'm going to be doing my own thing. My number one goal was to just never have to ask you guys for anything. Like, that was my number one thing.
That was my number one goal, too.
But when he gets out of here, he fucking better not be asking me for shit. You know? And, but it was cool because after I moved out, now, look, I've talked to Jack. You know, Jack said even the same thing. When I moved out, my relationship with my dad got a lot better. And then when I moved out, I remember the first time when I moved out, I remember like a week or two later, you texted me and you were like, hey boy, what's up? What are you doing? And I was like, my dad has never texted me this ever. What is happening? Is this fool miss me or something? You know, I don't even think I've been back to the house or whatever. And and then as time went on, I was like, okay, this is cool because like now, although you'll always be my dad, you'll always be my parent. Now we're at a place where I feel like we can kind of be friends, you know, like it's a friendship now. And then I found that out too when we went to LA together. You came with me to do my first stand-up, and that was like, you know, after all the trips that I've been on, you know, with my friends and stuff, having a great time or whatever, that trip was like the best trip for me because we went and we did, you know, I did my comedy. You came and supported that. And then we went to the comedy club and we were there for fucking hours. We were there till the middle of the night. Dude, that was so much fun. And we went to go see Mana, dude. Oh, it was just such a good time. And then, you know, leaving there or being at the airport, I was like, dude, this is so cool because like he's like my boy now. Like we're boys, you know. And I never would. I feel like if I hadn't moved out, I never would have got to that point. And now it's like, oh, dude, this is fucking awesome. And now we can sit here on a podcast, shoot the shit, and just fucking talk about shit that people might be interested in, maybe not, but whatever. And yeah, that's cool, man. And that we got to do the more hanging out like that.
I think even if you hadn't moved out, that probably would have still happened, but it would have been a little more strained. Because I would have been.
You think so?
The whole way.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know because
there's definitely something with moving out. Like it changes the dynamic between people.
For sure, yeah.
You know, that's for sure because that that ultimately says you're taking accountability for yourself.
Right.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
Because you can say that you're going to do that in the house. You know, like your sister can say, "I'm going to be accountable for myself," but not really. But not really. You're still kind of here, right? Like, But that's the difference, right? And so, making the active decision to be like, I'm out. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna separate myself from you guys. Like that's
not even
that's a big move.
Yeah, it's not even. Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say I was separating myself from you guys.
No. But you get what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Just to make it clear though, I just needed to move out, and I think that's a good time to move out. I mean, you just said you were living with Bolo until you were 23 or whenever 9/11 happened. You were still living at home, and granted, you had a kid though, you know what I mean? So, but I feel like 23, 22, pretty good age. I feel like it's a good time for me to get out. I was bunking with my 6-year-old brother, Yeah, try to bring a lady back to that shit. No, it's not happening, man.
Not happening.
No.
Not happening whatsoever.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, but what I was gonna say was, you said that you would have supported it either way. I don't know that I would have got into comedy after, or if I still lived at the house. It's weird, because being at the house, it's weird when you're like in a specific environment and you only know one thing. Because when I was living at home, the last couple of years that I was living at home, I was super into bodybuilding. That was like the only thing that was on my schedule. I feel like I needed to change it up in order to, I don't know, just get a new mindset, get in a new area, and just maybe, your mindset shifts a little bit. So now, granted, that's probably not a good thing that I kind of fell off of working out, but I still work out. But it was good for me to get a new experience, and then that kind of was like a Kickstarter for me to get into writing more comedy.
You get stifled,
Yeah.
You can be around people or an environment. And you can get stifled. So it's definitely like super beneficial to just like move away. Like not just get away. Just be by yourself.
You just got to be independent.
Be in a different environment for a little while, because you will like figure things out differently. You'll see different cues. You'll see things differently. You totally get this sense of like, I don't know, tunnel vision. Being in the same place too long,
for sure.
Totally see that. I'm all about like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Go see what's going on.
Go experience stuff.
Like, go explore. Go see something else. Like, do not be, enclosed into this environment that we've built and we get. But like, fuck, go out. Go do something.
For sure. Yeah. So, nothing bad ever since I moved out of the house. Like, seriously, like what I was going to say earlier. I think moving out was for sure like one of the best things I've ever done, for sure. Like, it made me, and I don't mean that in like any disrespect whatsoever. Like, I mean, not even that you care.
I never take anything as disrespect.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you knew, everyone knew that I needed to move out, but like I think it was good for all of us, for sure. Like we've all created like better relationships, me and you especially. Yeah. We became, like I said, you'll always be my dad, but now we're like buddies in a way. It's, it could be funny. Now you're friends with my friends. What the fuck happened there, So
I'm actually better friends with your friends than you are with your friends.
Okay, well, that's a little weird. Hey, you got your own friends, man.
They say I respond more often. It's only because no one else talks to me, so I have time.
Yeah. That is true, Sometimes my text messages just flood, right? I'm so popular, yeah. No, I'm not.
So what are you gonna do here by yourself for the next 3 years? Not by yourself, but basically by yourself.
The next 3 years, what I'm gonna do by myself? I'm going to do exactly everything that I've been doing because I'm always by myself. I just am. Like I said, my friends don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
They all moved. All of my friends moved away. And they're just, you know,
Are you gonna go see your grandmother a little more?
I will. You know what? You know why? Because I'm a man of my word. And I fucking will. I mean, I'm going to have to because you're out.
'Cause I'm out.
Yeah. You said, I'm out, dude. I'm dipping, you know? Oh, man, dude. I got that's it's under my belt now. That's what I got to do.
You gotta step up. Boy.
I know. Yeah, it's fine. You know, I need a little more responsibility. Yeah, I already don't do enough, right?
Nope.
What I wanted to ask you, fuck, I lost it. I already asked you that. Oh, yeah. So what? I posted a clip yesterday, and it was about high school reunions.
Mm.
And I don't know if you saw it, but in I was talking about how I want nothing to do with my high school reunion if it ever happens because it's like a fucking stroke mountain cockfest.
Yeah.
And did you guys have one?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
We did have one. I didn't go to it.
Oh, you didn't go to it.
No.
Okay. What? When would that have been? That would have been 2005.
So let's see. I graduated in 1996.
Okay.
So 2006 would have been 20 years. Or 10 years.
10 years.
Sorry. 16 would have been 20. Yeah, I never. I think I saw an invitation for the 20-year one, but I never pursued
Damn,
it.
that's crazy. 20 years.
But it was like, what for?
Right.
Like, I
See,
don't,
what I cut out of that clip, I condensed my clips, but what I said was, I feel like they're kind of irrelevant now because of social media.
yeah, I mean, what's the point? Like,
Right.
let's see, 5 or so years ago, I made an effort. So, okay. So, 7 years ago, I started seeing a lot of people that I had gone to high school with,
Yeah.
right? And so I made it a point to reach out and be like, hey, how you doing? Let's go have lunch. This is, I don't know, 25 years after graduating high school.
Right.
And what I realized was, wow, we have nothing in common.
Mhm.
Like we did when we were 17, but as 35-year-olds, like we really don't. Like
Yeah. I mean,
our minds have shifted.
For sure. Yeah.
Right, I've gone the super ornery old man conservative route, and they're all super woke liberals.
Yeah.
So I'll be over here.
Oh man.
No, but that's the extreme, right? So, but what I realized is, yeah, we don't have so much in common. So
Yeah.
like we're totally cool. We enjoy, the thin band of things that come up, but on the extremes, like we're not going to agree. So.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is that for a long time, I think when I was in between 20 and 23, I had a really hard time with trying to grasp that people change.
Mhm.
Because don't get me wrong, I have well, nowadays it's a little weird in terms of friendship, but I have my close friends. And those are my close friends now that I've either met since high school ended, or that I've still friends with from high school, but we're not really the same friends. I had a hard time grasping that people change, just because it was just, I don't know if it hit me later, but it just something that I realized in those years, and it's like for me it was hard to grasp that because like I was like, damn, dude, we had like so many good memories as kids, and now talking to you, I just, I don't want to sound like a dick, but I want nothing to do with you now. Like that's just how it is, though, and I finally grasped that.
The conversation you have when you're 17, 18, 19, and when you see this person as a 30-year-old, your mind says, we had great conversations when we were 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
And I think we can, translate that into being 30. But then the conversation that actually happens in reality is like, whoa, that person's still 17.
Right.
And I'm 30.
Yeah. Like nothing changed.
I can't have a conversation with a 17-year-old.
Right.
So.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah. Some people grow, some people don't. and then some people, think that they grew a lot, and then they act crazy out of what they should be acting like. That's something that I've noticed. I mean, like in my clip, I was talking about how I said I've been to a high school reunion. It's called St. James Gate because at that bar, I see a lot of people that I went to high school with, and it's just a little fucking, like it's a conversation place that small talkville is what it is, and no one cares about any of it. Like, just no one does. So then I said before COVID started, when I would go out, I would just not give into it. Like, I didn't come here for you. I came here to hang out with my friends, whatever. And that's just, I think there's nothing wrong with that. At a certain point, you get to a point where it's like, I don't need to talk to you. I just don't. Like, I have my friends, you have your friends, and we can coexist in the same place and not talk. It's regardless if we went to school or not, whatever. I was curious though if you've been to one, or if you despised it, or if you were looking forward to it or whatever.
Not really. Like, when I think at this point the way that I approach, like, going to any situation, go to any bar, is like, okay, so there's gonna be 3 or 4 of us that are going. We're just gonna have a conversation.
Yeah, and then you show up and it ends up being a terrible conversation.
Probably.
Yeah.
But we're not looking for anyone else to contribute, right?
Nope.
So we don't get disappointed.
Well, you find that along the way.
Yeah.
All right. We're rounding 2 hours, 20 minutes from 2 hours. I want to start doing our juice debates that we got for this week.
Great.
We have 4 of them, and they're whatever. So the first one is no vaccine or vaccine. Choose. This one's got depth.
Yeah, it does. And I think this is going to be everyone's personal, like, preference. I think the majority of people are going to be vaccine, so that's great. Like, get after it.
Right.
That's fantastic. And if you don't want to get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine.
Right.
Like, that's totally fine. It's a personal decision. Keep it to yourself. Like, keep it to yourself in the sense of, like, I'm not going to tell you, boy, you should not get the vaccine, boy, because of this or that. Like, do what you want. Like, and I'll do whatever I want. That's what I mean by that.
It's funny when you say keep it to yourself, and all the people that I follow take a picture of their vaccine cards.
That's fine. Like, if you want to be, if your Twitter profile is you wearing 3 masks and you want to show a picture of you getting a vaccine, like, I'm totally cool with that. That's totally fine.
Yeah. I mean, I rag on it, but I always say, fucking post whatever you want, man. Who cares?
Yeah.
But hey,
if I don't call you for dinner next week,
yeah, don't ask why.
Like, don't ask why.
Yeah.
But but in full honesty, like, yeah,
bring it closer to Mike.
Do whatever you want.
Are you gonna get it?
I will get it.
Is that too bold of a question?
When it becomes available for my small spectrum of, like, super duper anti. Like, I cannot get any. No, I'm kidding.
What? What did you just
I
say?
cannot get any infection possible.
Oh, you think you're fucking Superman?
No.
You can't get shit.
No,
You're immune.
I will get it when it becomes available to all of us.
Got it. Is it already not available to all of us?
I don't know. Is it?
Well,
April what?
What do you mean? Someone very, very close to you has just recently got it.
Who? You?
No.
Oh.
We're not very, very close. Whatever. So you would get it. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not against getting it.
Okay.
I was like,
Well, like we were talking about earlier with COVID testing, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get it.
To get tested?
No. We talked about that earlier. Now I'm bringing it back to this with the vaccine. I'm not opposed to the vaccine, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get it.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's a guy that I know. I talked about this before already. He was stressing out about getting the vaccine. Like he wanted to get it, but he couldn't get it within a certain amount of time, and he was like freaking out about it. And I asked him, I was like, well, are you scared to get COVID? And he goes, no. And I'm like, well, why are you freaking out about this? Like, he was making a big deal than it needed to be.
Well, I'm not scared to get COVID
I'm not either.
at all.
But there was just my it was like, okay, well, it's not that big of a deal. You get it when you get it. You're scheduled for this time. Just wait until that time. If you're actually that scared, then don't leave your house. Whatever. Unless you got to go to work or whatever the fuck. You can get it going to the grocery store. I mean, you can get it anywhere. So it's like, but that's how I feel about it. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to get it. Like if like I said too, like if for whatever reason the company that I work for was like, hey, look, those blood drive tests or those blood drive trucks that drive up to places and you can do a blood drive to get your blood drawn, whatever. If they had a vaccine center like that and they came to our company, then sure, why not? It's right there. Might as well go get it. Fuck it, whatever. That's best case scenario.
So what I'm not for is like vaccine passports.
Right. So for travel.
Yeah. Like I don't think that. I don't think that I should be limited in travel and having to show the fact that I had something done to my body. Like I don't think that's not because of me. Just I think it sets a fucked up precedent.
Wait.
For me to say I got a vaccine to do something, to travel, to do this,
right.
to do that, I think that's a fucked up precedent.
Okay. Well,
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. No, yeah. You're saying precedent.
Precedent.
Okay.
Not a president.
I thought you said president. I was like,
no.
Wait, what does Joe Biden have to do? I mean, I guess he kind of, I don't know, but I was like, wait, am I mishearing you? Okay, but I got it now. Okay.
Sleepy Uncle Joe.
Yeah, Sleepy Joe, right here. I said it last week. Yeah. So, anyways, it's funny you doing these polls because they're always really close. So this one, no vaccine was 51%.
Yeah, it's like 50-50, man.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Look, I respect everyone's decision.
So do I.
That's
do
fine.
you, sweetheart? Live your life.
But my plan of not getting vaccinated is hampered by more people not wanting to be vaccinated.
Right.
I'm like I need 80% of people to be vaccinated.
Right.
Then my plan's good.
Otherwise,
I'll get vaccinated.
Do you find yourself getting influenced by social media a lot? Are you sure? Positive?
Yeah, I think so.
But you
okay, so hold on. So I do buy more T-shirts because of social media.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change my perspective on things. No.
Okay, but let's take the past 5 years. Political ideology.
Yeah.
We don't have to go. This is a rabbit hole. We don't have to go too far into it. I'm just curious, just because we're talking about it now. Political ideology the past 5 years. Did yours change from 5 years ago to now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But
what influenced that?
So I probably the biggest thing that influenced it was the liberal media bashing any conservative views whatsoever, regardless of merit. Right? I'm not. I have no conservative values that are gonna overwhelm everything.
Right.
It's the nitpicking of things that no matter, even if your view is right, because the fact that you're the one doing it, it's wrong.
Yeah.
I hate that. So I nitpick those things, but in general, my values haven't changed at all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, it's
the nitpicking that's been like, ooh, now I hate you more.
Right. Oh, for sure. Because it's like especially, the left wing. It's
so here's one perfect example. In the 4 years of Trump administration, my Instagram feed got blown up by, kids in cages.
Right.
In the past 2 months, I've seen no kids in cages posts whatsoever, but there's kids in cages.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen them?
Not from the same people that were blowing it up the past 4 years.
Okay.
No.
So
that's my perspective.
Right.
That's all.
Right. So I think it was Ted Cruz who went down to wherever he went, where they were
When
keeping.
when he came back with cornrows from Cancun.
Man,
That was so
yo,
awesome.
I know. He gave no fuck. Goes down to where they're
Sweet
keeping.
tan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Ted Cruz, what's up, bro? Trying to get on the podcast. He went down to an area where there were, the Mexicans being held in cages and shit. And this is recently, it's still happening.
Yeah.
And then what's even worse is that some of them are like wearing Biden shirts. Like this is a thing.
I saw that too. So I'm not going to play into any of that. That's all bullshit. Like,
You think it is?
I think a lot.
Because
of it,
then the people there, the border control, they're asking to stop filming.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do you want this not to be out there? They don't want to put a bad name on Joe Biden.
I don't want to. I don't focus on like the in the moment thing. I want to look at the big picture. Like, is it happening or is it not?
But
It is happening. It's still happening.
Yeah.
It was happening before. It's happening now. It's still happening.
I see.
That's the problem.
I see why you don't want to look at what's happening now and you look at the big picture.
I don't want to look at anecdotes.
Right, but also, when you're looking at the big picture, you need to worry about what's happening now because that's what's going to affect the big picture.
I don't want to use anecdotes to make decisions.
Okay.
I want to look at what's been going on.
There's been people in
For
cages
the
since the Obama administration.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's not like
All I'm saying is don't pick and choose the things that you're going to talk shit about.
Right.
Talk shit about all of it.
yeah.
If
I
you're
mean,
gonna-
I'm the fucking
but
king of talking shit.
I get it. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
No, I know, I
other
understand.
people. All right. It's like if you're gonna talk shit about it, talk shit about it globally, like for everything. Like just follow it. Otherwise, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. All right, so no vaccine, 51%, vaccine, 49%. If you got the vaccine, good for you. I'm glad you can do exactly what you've been doing for the past year.
That's crazy that it's that low. I would have expected pro-vaccine to be way higher.
Yeah, well, that was like 50 votes. So, whatever. Take it however you will. Okay, next one. Being the bigger person during an argument. Fuck
Oh.
that or yes.
Always.
You think so?
Always. Yeah. 100%.
Why? Do you think so 100% or do you think it depends?
No, I think it's 100% because I think you should always have control of the situation. So always being in control means that you will, if you're going to be the bigger person, you're always going to be in control. And it's not to control the situation, it's to be able to walk away from the situation.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the situation is, right? If you can be the bigger person, you can always walk away. If you're going to be the victim, you're probably not going to be able to walk away. I want to be able to walk away.
Yeah, you linger on it. That's interesting. I feel like a lot of people have that same mentality. But when I think about it.
Where's the situation where you wouldn't want to be the bigger person?
I don't know. That's where it depends comes into my point of view.
I don't think it ever depends.
Maybe not. But I think that there's a certain time and place.
Emotionally, totally agree that it might not depend.
Well, here's
It
the
might
thing.
be- it might be like,
It might not depend or it might depend.
it might, like you might be in a situation where it doesn't matter. Like you got to
Oh, if it, yeah, I mean, well, no, if it matters is when you might say, fuck that, I'm going to, whatever. But my thing is, now, don't get me wrong, I am all for being the bigger person in an argument. Like, exactly what you said is how I feel. But I feel like sometimes, when does it get to a point of you being the bigger person when you realize, oh, okay, I've been a bigger person for the past 25 years of my life. Am I being the bigger person or am I just getting walked over? Like, am I being disrespected in a way where I'm just not giving any effort to hold my ground and stand up for myself?
So I guess context makes sense here, right?
Yeah, it does. So it's a weird question, but
It is a weird question.
In general terms, generally speaking, like I like to imagine that I'm always fuck this doesn't deserve my energy. So why am I going to put into this? But then I've been in certain arguments where I could have been the bigger person, but I realized I'm not going to let this person who is lesser than me, and I don't think that people are lesser than me, but in this situation they are. I'm not going to let this person disrespect me the way that I'm being disrespected right now. So I'm going to let this person know what's up and say fuck you. Actually, no. And I think that's important to think about, because it is good to be able to just leave it behind and be in control of the situation, but also it's good to recognize when you need to put a person in their place and let them know, no, fuck you, actually, because I'm not going to let you sit here and talk shit to me. You're nobody to me. Like, so that's how I feel about it. Like, so being the bigger person during an argument, I'm going to say fuck that, because I've been in those situations. If I feel like, no, I don't care if I'm the bigger person or not. You can go fuck yourself. Like, I've definitely been in that, for sure.
Yeah, so I
Context, yeah, like you said, it kind of depends.
I guess it matters as to what being a bigger person means. If I think about like an argument between two adults, in my mind, I'm thinking I can put this person in their place, either physically or by words, but am I really going to change the person? So what is my goal, right? So if my goal is to change the person, I'm not going to do this by beating them up, because that's not going to change them.
You never know, it might.
I'm probably also not going to do this by just talking to them. It's probably not going to change them.
Mm-hmm.
So then what's my goal? Is my goal to change them, or is my goal to make myself feel better? At that point, I'm thinking, okay, my goal might be to make myself feel better, because I have complete control over this. I have no control over them. So I'm probably going to move myself on, because I control that, and then I can leave, right? And then I have no, then I'm separated from this person, and now it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I have complete control over myself. Fuck them. They're going to go fucking rot.
Yeah.
I am going to come out on top of this.
Right.
And I'm out.
I think it kind of depends on, it's like a person by person thing.
It is.
Because, it can go back down to like bullying, fat shaming, whatever it is. Like, some people will take it however they take it. Some people will be offended by it. Some people will take that as a kicking step. Like, I've listened to enough podcasts by fat comedians that have been fat shamed into actually working out and becoming better, like
Good.
getting healthy, whatever.
Good.
So in some way it works. When you say, I'm not going to, like, I know I just said, you don't want to waste your energy on people, whatever. But sometimes something you say to someone that's really disrespectful to them, it could trigger something.
But you don't want to waste your energy on people that don't care.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Different.
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah,
You are wasting you're not wasting.
That's when you're
you are sending your energy to someone who may pick it up. The second they don't do it, you're done. You're not going to do it again. So you see a change, you're good. Like, you're going to, not that you're going to fat shame them forever, but you know that little thing that you said kicked them into high gear, and they did it right.
Right.
But this other situation, it might not matter.
Yeah, for sure. What's interesting too is as I've gotten older over the years, especially after doing the podcast, I don't argue with people on the podcast, and I just haven't been in that situation yet. But what I've noticed off of the podcast is I've gotten better with realizing how bad people are at arguing when it comes to anything. Like, people with my age.
Yeah.
Like, you argue with somebody about something and there's no substance on their end. They don't understand how to argue with,
So you can,
or debate.
You can easily squash any argument by just asking questions, right? Just explain.
Right.
You don't have to argue. There's no argument.
That's the thing.
Just, I didn't think about that.
Right.
Tell me more about your perspective, about your view.
Okay, that's how I am.
When they can't,
it gets hostile.
well, then you just won the argument. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to get hostile.
No, they get defensive.
No. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? You can say, "Hey, tell me more." I'm just gonna sit and listen. Here, I'm gonna put my hands on my lap.
Yep.
And you go ahead and tell me.
Yeah, I've listened to enough Rogan, any podcast where they talk about important shit, and because I do this, I pick up shit like that. Like, I pick up body language, I pick up little things like that. And it's funny because after watching enough or listening to enough podcasts, my thought process behind arguing or having debates.
You shouldn't argue, right?
Well, I'm just saying generally, because people are going to argue. Like, it's inevitable. It's just going to happen. So when it does happen, be prepared for it.
People get defensive.
Exactly. So when people get defensive, that's when you know you won the argument, but don't make it clear that you've won. Because now, like you said, you want to ask them questions. You want to try and pick their brain to where they're saying what they're thinking, but then to a point where they realize what they're saying doesn't make sense.
So a lot when people build arguments up in their head, kind of real time, right? And it's not until they actually say things that most people actually understand what it is that they're saying. They go, "Oh shit!
Yeah,
my argument is garbage."
Yeah, that's why I was just saying that when they say it out loud.
Yeah, when they say it out loud, yeah.
They realize, wait, okay, hold on, wait, and I've done that. I've done that plenty of times on this podcast,
right,
where I'm talking to somebody and I just said I haven't had an argument. I haven't, but like I'll be talking to somebody and I'll say my point, and then on the microphone I'll be like, fuck, wait, that doesn't make sense. So it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm not scared to admit when I'm wrong.
No, you should.
That's the thing is that's what people are scared of.
Yes.
Is that people are scared of being wrong.
Yeah.
And that I'm fortunate enough to me being interested in listening to people talk that I can pick that up. People are going to be wrong, and you have to if you just can't be scared. You can't be scared to admit when you're wrong. That's one of the most important lessons that I've ever learned in my entire life. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Own it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I hold, like, look, I'm 42 years old. I learn shit every week. Every week I learn something new. Probably one of the most like specific rules or traits that I've learned over the past 3-4.
I was going to ask you this, so I'm glad you're about to answer this.
Yeah.
What's the best lesson you've learned?
So it was to be transparent, be true, be truthful. Like, the truth will set you free. Maybe not always. Maybe it'll get you in trouble. But like, just to be fucking real
To yourself.
to everyone.
I would say to yourself first.
Well, yes, to yourself, totally. But to yourself, you're kind of always true to yourself. You're kind of always realistic to yourself. You are because you cast doubt on yourself, and that is because you know what reality is, right?
Debatable.
So, maybe. But when you're talking to people, when you're just having conversations, when you want to tell someone, when someone pisses you off and you don't say it, like, you're doing yourself a disservice. Just say it. Just say, look, I didn't like when you did this. I didn't like the way that you...
Well, that's the whole internet.
Yeah, but it's not reality, right? It's not what... It happens on the internet, but it doesn't happen when you do it directly in people's faces.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
I'm saying do it to people's faces. Do it every time you have a conversation. Like, talk about one of those things. Like, it's...
Yeah,
it's
makes
kind of
sense.
a big deal. It makes sense.
Yeah. I mean...
So
I think...
So, boy, tell me something that I do that you don't like.
Oh, shit.
There's probably a shitload that you can pick from.
You know what? I mean, there are, for sure. There are. But I can't think of any because...
But here's the point. I asked the question. It got you thinking. Like,
right.
This is what we should do.
Yeah.
All the time.
For sure.
Think about, you don't have to say them, right? Because you'd be a fucking asshole to say, hey, stop doing this, and this every time we saw each other.
Yeah.
But knowing that you're thinking about it and knowing that you can tell me maybe one time, right? Hey, stop doing this one little thing.
But that's because I'm comfortable with you. Is people have problems with somebody that they're not comfortable with. That's when they're not going to say something.
What I'm saying is, even if you're not comfortable with someone, say it. Like, be uncomfortable. This is the whole point, is to be uncomfortable. Get yourself
out of your comfort zone.
Out of your comfort zone. This is the only way that you grow.
Yeah, seriously. And if you want to start a podcast and get out of your comfort zone, go for it. Oh man, no, it's a good lesson for real. Like that's definitely something to take away.
I have to go pee.
So do I. We're almost. Do you have to go really bad? Because we're okay. Go ahead. All right, we're back. Okay, so we were talking about being the bigger person is what we started off talking. So being the bigger person during an argument, The options are fuck that or yes. Fuck that was 37%, and being the bigger person, yes, was 63%.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? It's like, look, I'm super lazy, and that's kind of how I approach everything. And not being the bigger person means that I need to do something. And the thing that I need to do is not going to benefit me at all. It might benefit your ego. It's not going to benefit anyone.
Yeah.
So let me not be the bigger person. Let me engage into your thing, and then we're both fucked. How about I be the bigger person, and then we both have a good night. Neither of us are going to jail. Neither of us is doing stuff that we don't want to do. Like, that seems like the more,
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. Yeah.
Way. But this is how I look at life. This is how I approach everything. How can I do the least work possible?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
Right.
So one thing I learned after getting into the trades for sure.
Yeah. So if someone, gives me a sideways look, I'm always like, let's see, what should I do? Is this going to make a better night or a worse night?
Oh, I always go for the excitement route.
All right. So I'm always going for, I want to get home. I want to watch Netflix tonight. I want to have a slice of pizza in my bed. I don't want to be in the drunk tank.
Yeah.
I don't want to be somewhere else. I want to be in my bed. That is always my conclusion.
Right. Okay. Well, what's interesting is I didn't get that trait from you.
Well,
I'll never forget one time. It was the day we got back from Mexico. Not our last trip, but the trip before that, when Abra came. And I got back and I went out that night. Yeah.
Proofy?
I went out that night and I got into a fight. And I came home the next morning. I was all bruised up in the face. And I broke my finger. I broke 2 fingers that night. And by the way, you should have seen the other guy, But I came home and you weren't home, but Laura was home. And I told her what happened, whatever. I was like, don't tell Dad, I'll tell him. Because he's going to see it anyways. You texted me 5 minutes later.
Yep.
And I just, I wanted to tell you. I wanted to be like, yeah, this happened, whatever. I feel like the way that I told Laura the story, if I told you the exact same story, you'd been like, whatever, You text me 5 minutes later, you said, don't be fucking doing this shit. Like, well, whatever. Maybe you would have said the same thing if I told you in person, but she told you, I just yelled down the hall. I was like, right on. Hey, thanks. I wanted to tell him, but whatever. So, that's where we defer. But now, that was, 4 years ago. I don't got that kind of energy anymore.
My reaction. So, here's the way that I look at everything. My reaction is worst case scenario every time. So here's the way that I see things playing out. The way that I see things playing out is Joe hits someone in the head.
I get it.
Head hits concrete.
Right.
Head explodes. Now what situation are we in? But it's not just in that situation. This is how I look at life,
right,
in general, right? It's like, what is the extreme outcome?
Or what's the worst?
What is the worst outcome of my reaction now? Like, what is the worst case scenario? I always play off the worst case scenario,
right?
And I always kind of backfill from that. What is my reaction? Based on that. I am very risk adverse. So that is why I always take that, like, the pussy route. Yes, I'm always going to be the pussy. Absolutely 100%.
Essentially the bigger person. I'm
not a pussy. But
you're doing what's best for you.
Back me into a corner, we're going to have a different conclusion. But if I have, if I can keep the bigger hand, if I can, keep pushing it my way, I'm always going to take the safe route.
Let me tell you the story of what happened that night. Why not? Because I never got to tell you.
Why not?
Okay, so we had gotten back from Mexico, and I went to go hang out.
I'm going to nod my head the whole time.
That's fine. Well, here's the thing. I'll let you.
I'm just kidding.
but here's the thing. I know you're in the back of your mind. You're gonna have everything you just said ready to go.
I get it.
But now look. I might be wrong. I might be right. Who knows?
I'm not gonna react with a right or wrong. The story played out how it played out.
Okay, so this is the exact story. So we leave. It's just me and Jack. We leave the bar. Okay, and Jack at the time lived in a place that was right around the corner from the bar that we left. It's in
Which bar?
St. James Gate.
Okay.
He lived right around the corner, like walking distance, like 5 minutes. So at the time, there was this. This is even like maybe a couple years after this viral video went out, but there's this viral video that went out where these two guys just said, "Suh, dude," like, "What's up, dude?" But it's "Suh, dude." So that video came out. Whatever. I say that to everybody. I still do. So we walk around the corner to go to Jack's. We are on one side of the street, and there's a guy with his girlfriend on the opposite side of the street. So me and Jack are walking by. We're talking. We're laughing. Whatever. We're drunk. Whatever. And I noticed the guy and his girl, and they looked at us, and I said, "Suh, dude. I just did that. That's just what happened."
So this is exactly what you told me happened up to that point.
Okay, so I told you this.
Yes,
Just
you told
that
me
far.
You told me that part. Yeah.
Okay. So I said, "Suh, dude. How you doing?" And then, no joke, this guy, he looked at us. I said that. He looked back to his girlfriend, and then he looked back at us, and he goes, "What the fuck did you say to me?" And I was like, I looked at Jack, and I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like confused for a second, like I'm like drunk. I'm like trying to comprehend. Did I actually say that, or did I say something else? But I literally legitimate said that. I was like, "So, dude," he's like, "What the fuck did you say to me?" And then he got up, or he was already standing up, but his girlfriend got up. She was sitting on the curb. They got up, they walked over to us, and the guy on his way walking over to us, he was like, "You fucking disrespecting my girlfriend?" And then I looked at Jack and I was like, "Is this guy serious? Like, is this guy serious right now?" And the dude got in my face, and this guy was taller than I was. I mean, it doesn't take much. So the guy was taller than me, and I was like, "What the?" I was like, "I said, what's up, dude? What's up, dude?" And then he took it as just like this disrespect. I don't know where the hell that came from, but that's how he took it. And I looked at Jack. I was like, "Is this guy serious right now?" I said that in front of his face, because then I was like, well, first of all, there's two of us and there's one of you. And basically, that was where it went bad. I shouldn't have said that, but I said it because, what the hell? This guy started it, basically. And the shit talking started. And his girlfriend, who was a Latina, never good, got into it. And she started talking shit. And then I said, oh, I'm questioning saying this right now. I said, "Why don't you go back to EPA?" That is what I said.
Is it over?
No, it's not over yet. That's what I said. Because she was throwing out some shit. She was really spitting out some fucking disrespect, and that's
Did she say, "Oh hell no"?
basically, she might as well have. Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not even kidding. I wouldn't have said that if she didn't disrespect me. I can't remember what it was that she said.
Look, I'm pretty confident that if you're from Redwood City and a Mexican chick approaches you, you can say, "Go back to EPA," because that's kind of how we roll around here.
Yeah.
Like, this is a privilege that we have that no
Right.
one else has.
Right. So I said that. Now, when I said that, she punched me in the face. She did, because her boyfriend was.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so am I. Looking back in retrospect, hey, good shot. She landed a good one. Now, when that happened, her boyfriend was in front of me. Like, he was a little closer than we are right now. He was in front of me, and she was talking shit behind him. When I said that, she reached around that side of him and hit me, like, right here, like in the face. And when that happened, she ended up coming around from behind him, and I grabbed her arms and I just shoved her out of the way because I already knew what was going to happen. And just as I expected, her boyfriend then pushed me. And so that is immediately when we got in a tussle. Now, don't want to incriminate myself here. I already did at this point. So we end up on the floor, and I end up with this guy in a headlock. Yeah, getting down and dirty. So we end up on the floor. I have the guy in a headlock. That's just how it happened. I broke 2 fingers on the side of this guy's head. And the only punches that I ever got was from the girl.
So tell me how silly does this
Look, talking about it, it's dumb.
How silly is it? Because so in my mind, everything is different. In my mind, everything has to lead to a conclusion, to an outcome where you become better.
You're not even ready for the end of the story.
Did you make money from this fight? Like, did someone pay you? Were there any sponsorships that came out of this?
Joe Rogan was commentating on it.
How did you get better from this interaction?
I got better because it made me not want to do it again.
There you go.
Okay.
Bam.
Yeah. I just nailed your fucking point that you tried to make me look dumb on.
No, I didn't try to make you look dumb on it.
No. Okay, so hold on. Let me finish the story. The best part of this fucking story. Well, there's 2 best parts of this story, okay? The 2 best parts of this story is that we got on the floor and I'm laying him on this guy's head. He's not doing anything to me. The girl, his girlfriend, her sister was coming around the corner as this was happening.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no. You know, the whole deal. And she called the cops. Now, this is Belmont. Like, you know, the cops are there.
There's 2
right
cops.
away. Right away, you hear sirens. So the girlfriend tells her sister to call the police. The police are on the phone. You can hear the sirens within seconds. Now, the second we heard sirens, the guy and I stood up. Well, first of all, she called the cops. You can hear him in the distance. The girlfriend's sister, she fucking linebacks Jack. Fucking just decks Jack. Jack lands on his back and shit. It's a fucking movie scene, dude. I wish we had a camera out. It was insane. I still to this day give him shit for it. It was just so much fun. Good times. And so she decks Jack. Jack's like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna hit a girl. And I'm like, why not? You know? And then and then basically the sirens get closer and closer. And we get up, the guy and I get up off the ground, and we hear the cops. And no bullshit, we hugged each other, and we were like, have a good night. And we just left. That was it. That's not even made up. That's legit what happened. We got up off the ground. The cops were coming. We were like, all right, have a good night.
That was like respect. We fought it out.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
That's how every fight should end.
Exactly.
Done.
That's the UFC in a nutshell.
Yep.
And then so we're running down this street, Jack and I. We weren't even running. We were walking because we were really close to this place. Now, Jack didn't have any marks on his face. I did. And so when the cops were down the street driving up towards us. So Jack stayed on the street and I went behind this wall. And the cops stopped at Jack and they said, "We heard there's a fight down here. Were you a part of it?" And I'm behind this wall. I can hear everything they're saying. And Jack goes, "No, but I did see some stuff down there." And then the cop floored it just down the street. And it's the second the cop floored it, Jack and I booked it. And like right then and there, because where he was living, you had to walk like down an alley into like in this compound, and you know cops would never go back there. And that was it. That was one of the fights that that was like one of my. That was probably actually my last fight that I've ever been in. Yeah, I had a number of them though. You can't look at me and say you've never been in a fight either.
So fun. So fun.
It's being a fucking. You're not in your early 20s if you don't get in a couple fights. Come on.
This is like, for me, it's like 20 years ago. I have no recollection of anything that happened 20 years ago.
Yeah, you do. You had me. Come on. Well, that was like 25 years ago.
I remember when you were 5.
When I was 5? Yeah, dude,
But not
my
before
dad.
that.
Dude, my dad used to pick me up by my ears.
I did.
Dude, my monkey
I did.
ears. Damn, that was crazy.
I would grab you by your ears.
Yeah.
And it wasn't real, right? You would grab my arms.
Right.
And then I would lift you up. So I tried to do that with Serge. And
Okay.
he doesn't grab my arms at all. So it's all ears. Like, Jesus Christ, no wonder your ears.
But you're not even using the ears. You're just compressing his head,
Yeah.
dude. He's
It's like,
he's going to have CTE by the time he's 10.
I guess.
Holy shit.
Sure.
All right. So okay. Now, anyways, we got past the fight story. Now I think we have. We had four, but I'm gonna do just one more because the last one's a little ridiculous. Okay. I went over the results on that one, right? Yeah. Fuck that. 37%. Yes. 63% for bigger person. Okay. Now, the last juice debate, and we might still talk after this, but last one. Do you have role models that inspired you to do something exciting with your life? Yes or no?
No,
Really?
no, no, not really.
Do you have role models or like inspirations, like people that inspire you?
You know, I do for things that I care about, like for little pockets of things, like like playing drums. Obviously there's Neil Peart, there's Pedro Sanchez, there's people that you like that play drums. There's Alex Rodriguez or Gonzalez. There's people that play drums that you like. But in specific role models, not at all.
Yeah.
I look at themes, like what is a theme that I want to go after? Do I want to get better at golf? I'm not going to look at one person. I'm going to look at a bunch of things. Do I want to get better at playing guitar? I'm going to look at a bunch of things.
Right.
So I don't follow one specific person. But if I had to, if I look at my, the things that I like, are there specific people that I follow? Yeah, absolutely. So obviously for drumming, it's Neil Peart. Just in music in general, like I love Donald Fagen, and Steely Dan. Like I just love that completely. Marco Antonio Solis, right? When you think about like Mexican music and everything he's done for Mexican music, these are role models, but I don't do anything because of that. I keep them in my purview.
Yeah.
They don't shape anything that I do.
Right. So you've never had like, other than music, like you've never, especially now that social media is just obviously a thing where people follow other people and see what they're doing and they're like, oh, I kind of want to try that. Like you've never. I had a juice debate actually about this. I probably won't use it now, but you never saw somebody that was like, I'm gonna go skydiving or deep sea fishing, and you just never, like something like that along those lines. Like somebody, you saw something do something, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll try that.
No, and maybe that's a problem, right? Like maybe that's one of my problems. Is like I've never seen someone do something and go, damn, that's fucking tight. Like I'm gonna follow this person. Like I'm not passionate about things in that singular way. I like a lot of things.
Do you think you're passionate about a lot of things, or you just like things?
I'm definitely passionate about them, but I'm not passionate to the point where I'm gonna immerse myself into it.
So you're passionate about music, and you're passionate about what else?
Look, I love golf,
Yeah.
but I'm not passionate. What does passionate about it mean? What does that mean?
It means that, well, let's see how I think about it. Like I'm passionate about this podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm passionate about it for you.
okay, thank you. I'm passionate about it because it gives me an opportunity to grow. It gives me an opportunity to be creative and develop conversation skills. It gives me, it gives me the opportunity to change my mindset on certain things when I have discussions like the discussions we talked about on this episode. I'm passionate because I can learn along the way. I'm passionate because it gives me opportunities to venture out in things that make me uncomfortable. Stand-up comedy, networking with other people that do podcasts. All these little avenues, like these little sub avenues that come along with passion in terms of content creation. Yeah. Like this whole project has been the most mind-blowing and eye-opening experience I've ever gone through in my entire life. And I'm fortunate about it, and I'm proud to say that I'm passionate about it too.
Yeah, so thinking about it that way, I'm probably not passionate about anything, just like flat out anything. But I can get behind things. Like I can totally get behind your podcast. Like I am passionate about you being passionate about your podcast. I'm passionate about the MGA, but I'm passionate about people being passionate about the MGA.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about when I talk to people at work. I'm not necessarily passionate about what they're doing, but I'm passionate about their passion to like get after it. Like, I'm not. There's nothing that I'm singularly passionate about.
Let's say
but
this.
I'm passionate about people being excited to do their thing.
Okay, let's say this though. You have a family.
Yeah.
You have kids and you have a wife. Let's say you want the best for everyone in your family. You could be passionate about being able to provide a happy life for your family.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, there's me, there's Sis, there's Serge, there's Laura. Like, you have all these people in your life. And you don't want anything negative to happen to those people, so you're going to do anything that you can to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's your passion. Your family is your passion, And I've never even thought about it until now. You don't want. There's people obviously who don't think that. There's people in their in the world that don't give a shit about the rest of their family.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's us or anything, but you don't want the worst for your family. You want only good things, and you've done everything up to that point. I mean, up until now, to where you've provided everything for your family. So that's something that you can be passionate about. It's like little things. It doesn't even need to be like.
Well, in my mind, if you ask someone what they're passionate about, it's an active passion, right? It's like I need to be doing this now.
Right.
That's kind of like it's very passive. It's like, yes, this is what I'm.
What, the family thing?
Yeah. It's like this is
not
my job.
No, it's not I mean, yeah, it's something, but here's the thing. You say it's a job and it's passive, but there's people in the world that don't give a shit about their family. That started a family and then they just continue to not give a fuck.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I'm saying is, like when people think of passion, people think of like something like this. Something like venturing out and doing something adventurous. Like stand-up comedy.
So if you want to put it that way.
You could be passionate about fucking anything.
If you want to put it that way, then yes, my passion is that my family's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's a fucking good enough answer for me. You could have said that. I'd be like, fucking let's go, man.
But I would never think that.
Yeah. Yeah, But it's good to in terms of like, I don't know. It's weird, like that's how I think about things.
That's an undertone. Like that's never up for discussion. It's never a question. It's never something that has to be talked about. It just is.
It's never something that needs to be talked about, but I think it's important to acknowledge it. Because like we talked about earlier, not sometimes, I would say most times, you are the kind of person that sweeps a lot of things under the rug. And I think that, not even for whatever reason, maybe it's to get closure on things, maybe not, but I think it's good to acknowledge things that you've been sweeping under the rug, whether it's an everyday thing like supporting your family. Like that's something that you should always be aware of. Like, okay, you're 42 years old. I'm 25 years old. Every day we're just doing our thing, but at the end of it, we need to realize like, okay, throughout our entire life, we've made all these decisions, but now we're here. Now we've provided. Now we're doing this and now we're doing that. I have a kid who lives on his own. I have a job, you have all these things, yeah. And that's all it's all a result to being passionate about having a family,
Yes.
So, yeah, you're passionate about having a fucking family. That's good.
But you don't think about it, right?
You don't think about it, right? Yeah. Well, it's not something that you want to think about every day because, like, yeah, you're right. It's not necessarily that you signed up to be a dad at the age that you became a dad, but you took initiative and you went with it. And so now here we are. Like, yeah, you don't want to acknowledge that every day, but it's important to every now and then just to think about it, Yeah. That's how I think about it. And look,
Makes
man,
sense.
I know that I can be a scumbag on this podcast and I talk a lot of shit about a lot of people. Whatever. I wouldn't be where I am without this guy, especially with the podcast equipment that he bought me. So here we are. I love you, Pops. You're a good guy. Doesn't matter what any people say. People are always talking shit, It's fine. We're just living life, man. This is good. I'm glad we're able to do this.
Yeah.
Seriously.
This is the part that you're not supposed, like in my mind, you're not supposed to talk about this part. You know, this just is.
It is. It is what it is. Yeah. But see, that's the thing is, there's a blessing with the way that the world is moving nowadays where, I always talk shit about people that are sensitive. I talk shit about people, I talk shit about a lot of shit, but yeah, I make fun of people that are sensitive for expressing their feelings. But what I really mean, or what I
That's not the whole story.
yeah, what I believe is that it's fine to express your feelings, but there's a time and place, and there's a spectrum, when things that matter, things that don't matter.
Yeah.
Shit like this, for sure, man. You want to acknowledge the thing. You want to acknowledge your accomplishments, for sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But then, bring it back to the whole high school reunion thing. Don't fucking boast to me about shit that you got now, because I don't give a fuck about that. Oh, you drive a Maserati? Cool. I drive a Scion. What's up? It doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna be at my 20-year high school graduation. I'm gonna pull up in a Honda Civic. Get the fuck out of here. Hopefully I'll be famous by that time.
Yeah, I never really I thought about going to my high school reunions, but I was like, for what?
No need.
For what?
No, I'm not going.
Just show up.
Yeah. Hi.
Remember?
How are you?
Yeah. What's the point?
Oh, you work in an office? Cool.
That's cool.
Same.
I work in an office too.
I've been remote since COVID, but
High five.
we're still thriving.
No, sorry.
Yeah. Nah.
Elbows.
Nah.
No.
But whatever. So, okay. We were at this one. Do you have role models? Oh, yeah. So, we go back to the role model thing. We started talking about role models. We started talking about passion.
I think that's a really interesting question, though. I have no role models.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But I think that you might be missing out a little bit.
Well, I also think that I may be, enclosing my scope of, what should be a role model. I definitely have role models.
I'm sure you have role models, but role models that had an impact on you that inspired you to kind of go out of your comfort zone like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah. I definitely do. I mean...
Good.
I mean, it's been a long time since I talked about it on the podcast, but the whole stand-up comedy thing, the whole the podcast thing, See, when I got that comment on my video, a lot of thoughts running through my brain. And it was thoughts on, okay, first of all, this guy's not having a good day. People that comment negative shit on other people's stuff, that's just an unhappy person. Yeah. Now, the way that I was able to justify why that person doesn't matter, why that comment doesn't matter, is because that guy was much older than I am. And I'm 25. For me to be able to acknowledge that guy is not, his life isn't going how he would like it to go, to be commenting negative shit, that at 25, I've already found the role models that are inspiring me to go out of my comfort zone and do my own thing, be in my own lane. If I can do this, I've already, like we talked about earlier with arguments, I've already won. People that I follow have led me to where I am now.
How did you get to the point where you knew that person was all that?
I went to his Instagram.
Okay, so you already fucked up, right?
I don't know. Okay, I don't know much about the guy's life, but all I needed to know is that he commented on my video something negative. That's it.
But the point where you started investigating that's where you fucked up.
No. Well, maybe, yeah. The reason I investigated was because I wanted to nitpick at everything that I could pick up off his profile in order to destroy him emotionally in the comments.
So would you be okay with not ever doing that? Not ever looking at comments and nitpicking at people? Would you be okay with that?
If his account was private.
No. Just you. This is not him. This is you. Would you be okay with not ever looking at the comments and which leads you down a rabbit hole of nitpicking?
Well, the reason it stood out to me the most was because I've never received that before.
Not why it stood out with you. Would you ever be okay with not ever looking at the comments?
Okay. On my last episode, when I was addressing that, I said the only way that I would be able to not let this stuff affect me is if this podcast became to be some larger thing than it is, to where I would have people running my social media. That's the only way. Because if I receive a negative comment, like I just said, that was the first one that caught my attention. Joe Rogan always says, don't read the comments, don't read this, don't read that. Okay, I don't have millions of views. I'm not fucking, I'm not Joe Rogan. So when I get a comment on, I'm obviously going to see it because I manage everything.
Yeah.
I have control over everything. So
what if you didn't?
So if I had people that were managing my social media,
No. Think about, okay, so everything has to be results driven, right? So think about your time looking at comments and the result you've gotten from looking at the comments. Now, what if you didn't? What would the result be of you not looking at the comments? Is the result the same?
okay,
And I guarantee you that it is at least the same.
listen, I'll tell you this. Being the level of podcaster that I am, that high school reunion clip, I had at least 7 people comment under that. At the end of the clip, I said 95% of the people that I graduated with, I don't give a fuck about because they don't give a fuck about me. 7 people, and I know the number, commented, this is 100% facts. This is so true. Blah, 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 blah. I need to see those because when I receive that validation, that is what... Now, look, I know I say that I do this for me, but every now and then, it is important for me to be acknowledged in a way where people can relate. People can agree with me on something that I posted, that I did. It makes me want to continue to do my stuff more. It gives me drive to continue and know that, oh, this isn't going anywhere. So to a certain extent, comments, regardless whether they're good or not, especially when you're a creator. If you're not a creator, you'll never understand, because I talked about this with my friend that I met on Twitter that we did a podcast last week. People that don't create content, they will never understand our thought process throughout our day-to-day life. Our whole mind is based off of our podcast. It's based off of people's perceptions of us, what we're going to talk about the next week. There's all these factors that go into creating content and putting it on the internet when you're putting yourself out there like crazy. So all these comments mean everything to us, especially the first steps of the way. You take everything, you would like to take everything with a grain of salt, but you don't. Everything has such a strong impact. The first person that commented on my video said, "Haha, this is so facts. This is true." That means the world to me. When somebody comments something negative, obviously that outweighs that positivity. So of course it's going to catch my attention. I don't know if that answered your question, but it has an impact on whether or not I do research on who commented that.
Is it going to change what you do?
No, it's not, because if anything, it doesn't change what I do. It gives me more content. It gives me the opportunity to talk about it on the podcast and let people know what's going on. So if anything, it drives me more to be better and to continue doing what I'm doing because I'm in my lane, making myself happy. And whatever that person said doesn't affect what I'm doing, because all I know is they have the time to comment something negative on my shit. That means that I'm already ahead of them because I'm doing something better with my life.
Yeah, I mean, that means that you got them, right? So if there's no benefit to what they're saying for you, is there any benefit for you to read it at all?
I can't not read it.
I know.
That's the thing. I lost my jewel. Oh.
What are you looking for?
I can't not read it. And that's what I'm talking about, is like, if you're not a content creator, you'll never understand.
I get it.
It's like if you're not a content creator, it's like posting something on your story and you get somebody to swipe up and send you the crying laughing emoji. That's what it is, because that feels good, right? Maybe you've never had that.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Do you want another one?
Yeah.
So let's say you post something on the internet, on Instagram or whatever. and somebody comments on it, ha 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 ha, this is hilarious, or whatever. Let's just say that, just for example. And it was effortless for you to post. No thought went behind it. You just posted it and it got a laugh. That's like a quick like reassurance, like, oh, that was funny. I'm funny. I'm a funny person. When you're a content creator, when you post a podcast, when you post a sketch comedy clip, and you get a response that's, this is good versus this is bad.
I have context.
Okay.
I have context.
It has an effect on the person because you put work into it. There's a difference between posting something effortlessly. And for some people that post funny content, it might be effortless, but for me, that's just not how it is.
So I was talking to some coworkers that worked for people that worked for me, and one of the things that I try to get out there was like make posts, like write posts to Facebook or whatever it is. Have people read the content that you're building. And that was my drive was like put content out there, have people react.
Yeah.
What I didn't think about was like what was the reaction we were going after? Were we going after likes, or were we going after comments? And then we realized, ooh, comments are a lot better, right? Like, hey, this is a great write-up. Like, thank you for this. Is way better than a like.
Yeah.
Like put comments in. So I get what you're saying. Like it resonates because I myself was like, don't just like it.
Well,
make a comment.
There's more engagement with the comment.
Yeah, because you read it and you feel it. It's better than a like. A like is just like a number. Right?
Yeah.
It's just 1. Okay, cool. 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Yeah.
But a comment is like, ooh, it's like a response to my card. It's like, well, what's the response?
Right.
Thank you for doing this. It was awesome. Or this sucked.
Keep this aimed to you, like mine is. You could bring it up too, just like that.
Okay, it's only been like
It
2
just-
hours.
Yeah. It's only been 2
I would
hours.
have gotten it by now.
It's almost 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours. But so that's that's the play is like think about the comments, think about the human aspect of it, not so much about the thumbs up or the likes or whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting, Yeah. I always say this is one of the most experimental things that I've ever done. And like I said earlier, I have a 9-to-5 job, This is I'm an aspiring comedian. I say that loosely because I'm not putting in the work that I need to be. Most of my focus is on the podcast, but this is where I come to just really be myself. I come here to be dumb. I come here to joke around about things. I make jokes about things that might be serious. I try to bring light. That's my whole purpose. That's what I feel like I need to do, because that brings me satisfaction with myself. There's times where I feel like I'm not doing enough, and this is where I can feel like I'm fulfilling my potential.
Yeah.
So when I receive a comment like that, it's like, okay, you don't understand my goal. And that's fine if you don't listen to me. And that's fine if you don't like what I post. That's totally fine. Everyone has their opinion. That's fine. That was my response to the video, And don't get me wrong, man. First of all, I developed my thick skin by working in the trade. Working in the trade developed my thick skin. So I honestly say this all the time. I joke around about it. I say, don't give a fuck what people think. But I always say, but sometimes I do. Because it's true. You're always going to somewhat care what people think. And maybe people don't, but whatever. At the end of the day, if you don't like what anyone is doing, whether, it's podcasting, it's YouTube content, it's Twitch, video game streaming. If you don't like what they're doing, you can go fuck yourself, because they're in their own lane, dude. If you're out of your lane to come talk shit on anybody that's being creative, you're a loser. That's just it. That's all it is. If you're commenting negative shit on the internet, you are a loser. And that's all I gotta say about it. Live your life, man.
Yeah, I think that people a lot. So I've never ever like taken a dive down that space to see what's going on, because I kind of know that like it's full of trolls,
Yeah.
right? And the people that do that are, mostly unfulfilled people, and I don't care to like fill my life with like garbage.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
so I try to keep on the relevant end. But I've seen how crazy it is that people can infiltrate and like get into people's heads. It's kind of
It's insane.
it's absurd.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. In my own like mindset, I can't understand how this happens. But then I start thinking about it, and I start loosening up my purview, and I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's kind of nasty.
Well, you also got to take into account that, okay, yeah, over the last year, it's been crazy. Since March 2020, it's been crazy. It got worse, is what I feel like. I feel like the toxicity of the internet kind of skyrocketed March 2020, and it's where it is now. Oh, burp. It's where it is now because it's been a year and a month. It's been 13 months, 13 and a half months, where people have just been, limited to the things that they can do just because of the coronavirus.
Right.
So I feel like whenever all of a sudden the states open up again, Texas is one of them, whenever all of them open up again, I feel like there's going to be just like maybe the internet's just going to let off the gas just a little bit. Might not be a lot, but it might be better than normal. As we know of the past year, people are going to be occupied. They're going to have things to do. They're going to be able to leave their houses. And I don't know. I think people are just so cooped up in their houses to where they're so bored that they need to talk about a lot of shit or they need to troll. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, and I only know, the only reason I've ever paid attention to it is because of the podcast. When I listen to people, and I listen to enough podcasts to know when, people are receiving negative comments. Like, negative comments skyrocketed in the podcast world that I listen to since the coronavirus happened. Right. It's just people are locked up. They don't know what to do with themselves, so they're going to go talk shit on the internet.
It's easier to be nasty, right?
It's way easier. It's just like it's easier to be an asshole, like in real life to people. Yeah. It's easier to be a dick than just say, have a good day, even though you don't really mean it,
Be nice.
You put a front on, because it's hard to put a front on.
When's the last time you were nice? You're probably nice all the time. I'm nice all the time. But, like, think about it.
Do you think there's such thing as a selfless act?
Yeah.
Like what? This is on blast, but I don't think there is.
No, of course there is, right? Like,
I don't think so.
It's something as easy as I could have handed you that beer. That would have been a selfless act. It's like it could be something as simple as that, right? Someone walking in behind you to get their coffee, you hand it to them. Oh, you were going for that coffee. Here, I hand it to you. That's selfless. You don't think about it. Like, there is things like that. This thing changed.
Oh, shit.
But there are things like that. Like, they're very subtle.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's little things like that, but at the back of your mind, you're looking for a thank you in a way, right? I mean, I don't think that I'm wrong.
No. I think you are wrong.
You think so?
Yeah.
This is how you know we've been going for a long time. Okay, so now that my train of thought's back.
Here's why I think you're wrong. If you're walking into a building with a big glass door and there's someone walking in behind you, your immediate reaction is to pull the door open, step aside, and let that person walk by. You're not expecting a thank you. Now, you may want a thank you, but you didn't do that because you wanted to get a thank you.
Yeah.
You expect thank you after the fact. You just do it as a natural
Well,
reaction.
You just contradicted yourself.
Maybe.
You said you didn't do that to receive a thank you. Your hope, or I can't even remember what you said.
After the fact, you will hope that you get a thank you, but you didn't pull that open and step aside, thinking that you were going to.
Yeah, that's true.
You did.
Maybe you didn't contradict yourself.
You did it just to have the person walk through. After the fact, you might say, I should have got a thank you. That's different.
Oh, I know when I open the door for people, and I get this a lot. Trust me, I work in the trades. They look at us like fucking dog meat.
Fine.
When I open the door for people and I don't get a thank you, I am red inside. My blood is boiling.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. What?
When I open the door for someone, I do not expect thank you. I don't expect any acknowledgement. Go on by, and I'll walk in after you.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't know why I feel like that, and it's not even like it doesn't take a lot to hold the door open for somebody. It doesn't at all. But like for whatever reason, I do kind of expect some kind of acknowledgement towards it.
So here's what I was told. What I was told was that by doing that, I am perpetuating some like unbiased racism.
What?
Because now I'm a servant, right? Opening the
Oh
door.
God.
So I never thought about it that way. I don't think about it that way now.
Well, wait. Well, before we continue on with this, we never went over the results for role models. I forgot. That's my bad. So we're gonna go to the role models really quick. Do you have a role model that you have inspired you to do something exciting with your life? Yes or no? 73% said yes. 27% said no. Interesting. Okay. Now,
I will say yes. I'll say it's my dad. And just because it was simply
music.
I'm gonna work to make my family better.
Good. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Did I give you that idea?
No.
Did I make you think about it?
Maybe.
Okay. That's all I needed. Anything I can get credit for. You know me, guys. Come on, man. That's good. That's good. I'm really bummed I never got to meet him. Really sad about that. For real.
He's also bummed.
Yeah, I know. But that's good. It's good that you were able to think about it, at least now that we talked about it. But anyways, back to selfless acts. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you know what really pisses me off? What really pisses me off is when people, and I know they do this to try to be a good person. I know that the heart of it is to be a good person. But people that buy homeless people food or whatever, and then they have their camera out and they're like, hey, are you hungry? What do you want? I'll buy it for you. And then they give the food, you know. And then I saw a tweet by somebody. This is in Los Angeles. They went to Skid Row to go offer food to homeless people. And when they went up to this group of homeless people, the homeless people asked the person where the camera crew was. And they said, there's no camera crew. We're just giving food to you guys. Now, when you think about it, the person that tweeted it, they talked about it online. So they got recognition for it. Now, I would rather see that than the actual video of giving homeless people food. So what bothers me is people that, you know, document in video with the camera in a homeless person's face giving them food, you know. Shit like that really gets under my skin.
There's a word for that, and it is what is the word for that?
I don't know what it is, but I would say false flexing, honestly.
No, I'm gonna find the word. So you know you should never publicize yourself doing a good act.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just do it. Like, I don't need to see a picture of you wearing 8 masks.
Oh yeah.
I understand that you're probably doing the right thing. Don't shove it in my face.
I would go
if you get a vaccine, I don't need to see you with your certificate of vaccine. I'm gonna assume that you're doing the right thing.
Right.
If you're feeding the homeless, I don't need a picture of you handing the homeless a bag of McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because you're probably fucking them up more. Hand them a bag of like some chicken breast.
Get him some
and, like,
Asian box or some sweet green.
rice or something
Yeah.
good. Why are you fucking killing him more, you dumb
Yeah.
fuck?
Get him a propane little Coleman stove thing or something. I don't know.
I don't need you showing me how nice of a person you are.
Yeah, no.
Like, I'm good.
It's just it's clout chasing. That's what it is.
That's not the word.
But that's basically what it is.
There's a very awesome word that I can't think of that I want to.
Is it virtue signaling?
Don't virtue signal, motherfuckers.
I was
Do
reading your
not
mind.
Virtue signal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you wearing masks, showing me your vaccination.
Well, you're just pushing a narrative that you don't actually believe.
Just do what you do.
Yeah.
And don't show anyone else.
Oh, I got your back on that one. It's good. Hell yeah. We're the same person, guys. Come on. Not really, but we kind of are. He's a little taller, but whatever. You know.
No,
What?
But when, like, every one of us in this room, and there's a lot of people that you don't see in this room.
Yeah, they're all right. Hey, what's up, guys? Audience goes wild.
John.
All right. John, Joe Rogan, I think he's somewhere in the back.
All right.
All right, yeah.
So, everyone that you've ever handed a $5 bill to, or a pack of like socks and like a Cliff Bar to, you don't take a picture of them. Why? Because I'm not trying to make myself
Yeah.
grandiose because of you.
You know what? Maybe you're right. I'll change my thought process on this because I've given. I'm not looking for any kind of whatever on this, but I have given homeless people money a lot. Like I've just done it. I've never once pulled
You
my
just
phone
do
out.
it.
I
Just do it.
just don't have a video of that. And you just do it, and then I go to the gym because the number one place that I do this is on Jefferson and El Camino, right next to Whole Foods. When I go to the gym, there's always a homeless person right there on the middle of the street, and they'll walk by, and if I have cash, fuck it, whatever, I'll give them $4, and that's where it ends. It doesn't go on the internet. It's just and then I go on with my day. So maybe I guess you're all right. Selfless act. All right, you changed my mind.
What is the phrase that you said?
Virtue signaling.
You're not virtue signaling.
Right.
Virtue signaling is you showing everyone else that you're doing the best.
Yeah.
Like, you're better than them, and here's how I show you. I have 3 masks on, and here's my profile picture. Fuck that.
There's two sides of it though when you
Is
think
there?
about it. Yeah, it's like okay. Well, the good person in me wants to believe that there's two sides of it because although you're documenting yourself doing a good act, good quotations, good act, you are kind of, cloud chasing, virtue signaling, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, and I say this loosely, but I do believe it, that you are sending a good message. You're kind of inspiring people to maybe contribute to doing selfless acts or to donate or to give people money, homeless people money.
Sure. Just remember that when you're sending these messages, you're almost always sending them into a echo chamber of your own friends who already accept what you're saying.
Yeah.
So who are you really telling about this?
That's true. But there are a lot of those clips that go viral. And you probably seen them and you see the comments and you're like, oh, way to spread positivity. People that don't see it from the perspective of, oh, you just filmed yourself giving somebody that's homeless, food or whatever. There's people look at it in all different kind of ways.
I always look at it the negative way. It's like, okay, you're showing me how good you are. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm your friend. Like, I know you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I guess you just take it however you take it.
Look, it's exactly what I told Sonny. Sonny, if I showed up wearing cowboy boots, what would you say to me? He's like, what the fuck are you wearing on your shoes? The same thing. If Sonny posted a picture of him giving a homeless guy a meal.
Like, what the fuck are you
Hero,
posting this on the
what the
internet?
fuck? Come on,
Yeah,
hero.
come on.
You know,
Come on,
like,
hero.
Come on, hero.
Oh, man.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's
What
just
a
like,
guy.
come on.
Yeah.
What a guy.
It's there's so much on the internet,
What is that cord that's stretching right there? I think someone's going to have a hard time with. What? This cord.
This right here?
No.
This one.
Yeah.
This is your headphones.
Okay.
You're good. Just don't pull
Make
on
sure
it.
I don't pull and.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Pop, we're at 3 hours.
Yeah. Amazing 3 hours.
Yeah. I got to figure out what happened in the first half of this episode with the sound, but if you're still listening this far, what's up? What's up, juicers? Tell the juicers you
Well,
appreciate them.
at this point, it's gonna be like 2 hours because we lost the first hour.
I got the audio from the video.
I know.
I'll make it 3 hours still. It was good. I think we're at a point where we can wrap it up.
Good.
And I appreciate you being on the podcast. I really do.
I appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was a little late, but had to pay respect before he dips out of California to invite the person that
I'm out.
got me my first podcasting equipment and believed in it. Came with me to support me on my first stand up and shit. It's all good, man. I'm really excited for you guys. Seriously,
It's always fun. I can't wait till you get out there.
I can't
It's
wait.
gonna be
either.
like 3 years.
I can't
Are you
wait.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah, but it's gonna fly by. I mean,
Stupid.
come on. I'll be 28. I might have a kid
You're
by
gonna be
then.
so old.
I
You
know.
better not have a kid. Well, maybe. Not so bad.
Would you be surprised if I told you that I spent the night in jail and I did everything in my power to not let you find out? Would you be surprised?
Would I be surprised?
Yeah.
No, would I be surprised? Surprised is not the right emotion. Would I be disappointed that you didn't tell me? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But
Okay, well,
I wouldn't
good
be
thing.
surprised.
Good thing that never actually happened. I was just curious.
I wouldn't be surprised. Look, if it didn't affect me, I don't really care.
Yeah, that's true. I probably would have done that too. I probably would have done everything in my power to make sure that no one found out.
If it affects me,
I can't imagine it would affect you. How would it affect you?
if I have to get out of bed to come get you, yes, that's a
Got it.
thorn in my side. Like, no.
Got it. Getting out of bed to come help your child.
I'm really busy getting out of bed to come here for the child that fucked up. Yeah. Yeah. That's a bit of a thorn in my side.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Take care of your shit.
I guess you're right. Yeah. Yeah, well, once you're out of fucking California, it won't really matter now, won't it?
That's right.
Nah, it's whatever. All right, users, I think we're going to call it. This has been fun.
All right, boy. Let's do the what is it? The Predator when they smash their arms together.
Oh, yeah.
Their biceps.
Mac! Or no, it's not Mac. Wait,
Hold on.
no, wait. No, they grab the forearms.
Oh, how
You
do
gotta
do that?
fucking... Wait, hold on. Is that how they do it? Okay.
No, I think they grab their arms. No, they grab their
Let's
wrists.
fucking look it up. How about that? Wait. No, we're getting wild at this point. All right, Predator.
Bicep smash.
Oh yeah, Predator. How you doing, you son of a bitch? wait. You son of a. All right. Oh my God! Look at. Oh, they do grab their hands.
See?
Wait, but their arms are just extremely large.
You son of a bitch.
Yes, dude. Oh my God. Oh, there he goes. He fucking ruins the headphones. Yeah, you gotta take them off, plug back in. All right, here we go. Ready?
Got it.
Ready? All right, don't fuck up the headphones again. All right, here we go. You son of a bitch. Well, fucking God, man. We are such heroes, guys.
Typical.
Oh my
heroes.
God, that probably cut the audio. Oh no, it didn't. Okay, cool. All right, juicers, we're tuning out. It's been 3 hours. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm sorry for the audio in the beginning, but sometimes shit
Figure it
happens.
out.
Shit happens, guys. Dad, any last words?
Nope.
All right. He loves you guys just as much as I do.
Love you guys.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace.
Ladies